Yo, everyone, welcome to FunPop, episode number 68, the first FunPop of 2024. We did have a show last night at FSP, and it was a blast. Earlier today, I hopped on Xbox Factor podcast with Boom and them this morning, which was a lot of fun as well. And hey, we got awesome news today, which we all kind of anticipated was coming soon. And turned out today we got this big news that the Dev Direct is coming soon, next Thursday, the 18th. So it's going to kind of jive well with our content because we have a show that evening with PM and the PM. So we'll be able to kind of do a co-stream of the Dev Direct and then kind of roll into PM and the PM in the evening. So absolutely looking forward to that. But I want to say thanks to everybody for joining in and having fun with us today. We got a lot of stuff to catch up on, guys, because we haven't had a fun pop since like the week before Christmas, maybe, or the week before that. And
Something like that.
yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
There's been a lot of things that we've watched and done and stuff, but also we got Indiana Jones news today, so it's kind of fitting for the show as well. So, but let's get into the intros, bro. How's it going, 3-bit?
Pretty good, man. Today a lot of work today. I just got off of Hi-Fi Rush. Been playing that. And for the most part, yeah, just been working a lot. Commercial is coming up, so been doing a lot of wardrobe and storyboarding and stuff like that for the commercial shoot. So it should be fun. It's gonna be a good time. I in terms of shows, we're gonna definitely get into it, but I've been watching Percy Jackson. I read the books. I was a big fan of the books, and it's pretty accurate to the books so far.
I watched the
From
show
what I
and then I
remember.
watched the movies. The movies were
Oh
ass.
gosh, the movies were so bad. But you know what? The people who watched the movies and didn't read the books, they kind of liked it. But for the people, I guess that usually happens. People who read the books and then watch them, they're like, "Hey, this is not in there," you know. But so far, this show is very accurate to the books. So that's been fun. Yeah, but glad to be here.
Right on, man. And how you doing, Jasper?
Doing all right. I've just been kind of watching some CES stuff, seeing all the stuff that's coming out and all the
Oh, the
partnerships
Sony
going on.
car.
Yeah.
Sony car. I saw Gaz actually made a post, a joke about this, like with the scene from
The controller.
yeah, there's a scene from that movie I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Jasper. I forget the name of
I
it.
see that
Yeah, I
movie.
saw Gaz's post. But
Yeah, and he was like, "This is gonna be what it's like with the battery life of the DualSense controllers, because like those are all like smart cars or electric cars
It's
or
the
whatever."
Teslas crashing into each other,
self-driving,
running out of battery.
I saw people making like they were like the submarine that like exploded last year, whatever, when it was going to the Titanic. They're like they should have took a DualSense, and everyone's like, no, they would have only made it 2 feet down.
As soon as they get down.
Yeah, it's a lot of CES stuff. There's been some posts about some different kinds of devices and all these kind of things. There was actually also like more rumors today that are potential leaked specs for the Switch 2. I don't know how concrete that is or if it's official because I don't know the sources.
I mean,
stuff, but
honestly, it's like the same specs that everyone's been talking about for the last 2 years anyway. So
yeah, seems to be probably somewhat in line. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about that because I am curious what you guys think. Refudge Gaming says, "Did I miss the DMs? I wanted to be on the show." Yeah, I didn't see. Did you DM me asking to be on the show? Refudge? I didn't see that.
He was trying to charge me for coffee in the other chat.
Was
I kind of made a deal with him. Yeah, I was like, he was trying to charge me $15 for coffee, and I was like, make it 13. And he said yes, but I had to give him 700 subs. So
what, 700?
Yeah, he needs to lower that just a little bit.
It's crazy. But shout out to the chat, everybody. Thanks for being here. I saw a lot of y'all talking about Hi-Fi Rush again in the chat here, saying that, hey, this is actually all this talk last couple days made you want to play it again. I'll wait until play it on the Switch, I think. No, I'm just
will you?
No, I'm just kidding, man. I did like the game. I never finished it, but I do plan on finishing it again sometime. But it's funny the discourse, how much it changes from like day to day, right? And really, like again, like a lot of that talk that was going on the last few days is all based on rumors that we don't know like anything really, and the more you think about it, and the more you trying to really, we were having a conversation about that on Boom Show today. And the more you think about it, the more you kind of look at the way the rumor was put out there and stuff. It's a lot of fakeness to it, right?
Yeah.
Just trying to stoke emotions and stuff like that in a dead time of news. And like, if you knew it, if you knew the game, if you're a leaker and stuff, why not just say it? You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Instead of like, hey,
I mean, it's the same. Like, I kind of get that, but at the same time, like, a lot of leakers don't say the game; they'll tease it with like symbols or some shit, like just to like try not to
get
give it
that
away.
stuff, but that this person, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
like it just didn't make sense unless it was like a big surprise, cool announcement they don't want to spoil for people, right? But like, this wouldn't be that. This is just like a game that already exists. You know what I mean? And
Right.
like potentially like what some would see as like negative news. Like, it didn't make sense not to say what
And when
it is.
when it first came out, I was basically like, I don't believe in these leaks. It was mostly everybody in the chat that was kind of like in our chat that was like, no, he's been reliable in the past. I'm like, I still don't. I don't think
Well,
so. And
people were
then
kind of digging
and then
into
when
that a little
other
bit,
people,
that,
yeah, when
that he
people
made
other
guesses
people,
based on like other people's leaks and stuff too. Like, I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know the credibility, right? But like, I don't know.
I
it doesn't
think
really
what
matter
didn't
anymore.
help was I mean Jeff Grubb was kind of saying that like Sea of Thieves was planning to go to Switch at some point, which was an older rumor that he brought back to the surface, and
Yeah, but
it
that
kind of just goes into this thing.
and it kind of got put into
Yeah,
like that's like a new thing now. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
exactly. So I think all these rumors are just not like bogus, in my opinion. Like it could happen, like Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves, but until I see a little bit more, I don't think it's true anymore.
yeah.
I didn't even think it was true. You guys convinced me otherwise. But for the most part, yeah, I'm gonna just chalk these rumors up to false for now, and just
I'll chalk it up to
see
who the
what
fuck
continue.
knows. You know,
And who the
it's like,
fuck cares?
and also who
Yeah,
cares? Like, at the end of
yeah.
the day, Luis Jose says, "No, Mav. Remember, you have a delusional take." Yeah, I'm delusional, guys.
That was crazy, man.
I'm super delusional out there, but it's okay. Hey, we got lots of delusional takes here on Fun Speculation, and I'm glad you all enjoy them. We're gonna have some fun speculation on a couple things. We'll talk about this Mandalorian and Grogu movie is coming.
Yay!
That news was broke to me on Boom Show this morning, and I was like, "Oh, I hope Grogu's not in it." Then they was like, "No, it's called Mandalorian and Grogu." I was like, "Oh shit," Not that I don't like mind Grogu as much as like some of y'all, but at the same time, I'm kind of sick of that part of the storyline. I feel like it's more like the Grogu show and like than it is the Mandalorian at times. And like I feel like that would have been a cool like season of the Mandalorian, and then you
Yeah, we
go
had
on to
that the
another
first season,
adventure, right?
in the second season, and the third season.
Right. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. So we'll talk some about that and kind of what to expect there. I am happy about the director, at least.
Yeah.
He does good
Heck
stuff.
yeah.
So and then also I want to, when Psycho gets here, he's trying to fix his internet right now, so he hopefully will get it fixed and be in here a little bit. But we watched Rebel Moon. I know I did.
Yep.
I know
I did.
Jasper did. Psycho did it. You did too, 3-bit.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're gonna kind of give our reviews and impressions on that as well. But first, let's get into the big news of the day. Dev Direct Xbox announced is coming next Thursday, January 18th, and Indiana Jones, fitting for FunPop because talking movies and stuff like that, right? Was on there. They're gonna give over 10 minutes of discussion about Indiana Jones with developer insights, tell us what the game is, and also have the first gameplay trailer for Indiana Jones. And this leads reason to believe, and also with a supporting tweet from Insider Gaming, they say their sources close to the game say that it's scheduled for 2024. Could we get a 2024 date at the developer direct for Indiana Jones? Because that's what it seems like is happening now, and we'll know what this game is too. So first off, that was a surprise. The only one of us that guessed that last night on the show was Psycho.
Yeah.
So, and he was tripping on acid or mushrooms or something when he probably said that. So it
And
was
so-
a crazy guess,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. Indiana Jones, man, it's going to be at the Dev Direct, as well as Avowed and Hellblade 2 and Ara, and maybe something else. But were y'all surprised to see Indiana Jones actually on this list for the Dev Direct? 3-bit?
I mean, a little bit, but for the most part, it's been in development for a while. I just expected to see it in the June showcase. Like, I did expect to see it this year, just not not in the beginning of the year. That's very shocking to me. And the fact that they're not just giving us a small trailer, right? They're giving us 10 minutes full of gameplay. So it's not just like they're just showing it again. They're not just giving us here's a little teaser. Last time we only seen a desk, a whip. He takes his hat, and that's it. That's all we saw. And this game has been in development for a while. This was another one of Todd's babies. Todd really loves the Indiana Jones franchise. And I do wonder what the story is going to be, whether it is somewhat based on any of the movies. That is stuff I guess we'll see. How much they wanted to initially tie it with the last movie, or if it's really just its own thing. I expect it's probably just its own sort of story, its own sort of version of Indiana Jones. I'm hoping it's not the Avengers type thing where the face, like it's an MCU type.
Well, they're not going to be Harrison Ford. It's probably not going to look.
Yeah, but but you know how the Avengers video game was like.
Yeah,
it was
just
a
like dollar store version.
dollar store versions of Indiana Jones. That's that might be a problem because everyone's going to compare him to Harrison Ford. We'll see how they handle the face, because it's not going to be Harrison Ford. But these are just things I thought about as soon as that was announced, and I hope it's. Has it been confirmed whether it's first or third person? I have no idea. I'm thinking third. I'm thinking third.
I think it's going to be both. I think it's
I think there's going to be segments.
Yeah, I think it'll be sequences where you're like maybe have some kind of different experience. I think it's going to be very cinematic type game where you're going to have these different set pieces and stuff. I could be completely fucking wrong though. Like who knows? It's going to be nuts. We got a $5 super chat from Alvin. It says, currently standing outside in the rain as firefighters put out a possible chemical fire at the factory. How's y'all's day going, LMAO? Jeez, Alvin. Yeah, I hope everybody's okay. At the factory where you work and stuff. Like, that's absolutely nuts, bro. But thanks for being entertained, I guess, in this one.
Yeah, thanks for
while your work.
Thanks for watching FunPop.
Fire. Like, hey, you guys, check it. You can either watch the fire happening in front of us, or you can watch FunPop with my boys. No, dude, Alvin, thank you so much. But I hope everybody is okay. And
think of that meme with the girl where she's smiling and the fire is behind her. Thanks for watching, man.
So, what about you, Jasper? Like,
I mean, like,
are you more surprised that Psycho was right, or are you more surprised that Indiana Jones was?
Like, part of me is more surprised that Psycho was right, honestly. But like, I'm not surprised that Indiana Jones is coming out this soon.
Right.
I'm just surprised that it was at this show.
Yeah.
Because like, if you look at
you think end of the year?
No, I think it's like June.
Right.
But the only reason I say that is because, like, if you go back to the Bethesda leak, it was supposed to come out after Hi-Fi Rush. So,
Yeah.
and it's the next game that they've put out was or the last game they put out was Hi-Fi. So the next game would have been Indiana Jones. The only thing that doesn't add up to that is the Oblivion remaster, which should be after Indiana Jones, and then it's ESO.
Maybe that'll be the Shadow Drop, or we'll see.
And then it would be ESO expansion, which we're getting that news after the show, and then it's Starfield DLC. That should be all Bethesda stuff for this year: Indiana Jones, Oblivion, ESO, and Starfield DLC.
It's a lot of stuff, man.
I mean, it kind of makes sense if the roadmap is somewhat solid. I figured it would be like a bigger thing that they would. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it seems like they're making this dev direct into a bigger thing because, like, it's like an hour.
It's more AAA stuff now too. It's not like
exactly
where last year's was kind of more indie.
I mean, the only like non AAA type game at this show that's been announced is Ara, right? Which is a PC strategy game. The rest of the games there, you're talking about 3 potential heavy hitters for this year. You're talking about potentially the 3 biggest games for Xbox of the year. And I mean, those are massive games. You talk about Avowed, right? Obsidian's big new game. Then you have Hellblade 2 from Ninja Theory, and then Indiana Jones from Machine Games.
I did predict that. They said they're going to get extended look, which you kind of get based on Ninja Theory, what they usually do. But I was like, hey, they're going
to... Based on the wording, though, with the Hellblade thing, like, it seems like this is going to be more of one of those, like, behind the scenes of how we make the game.
That's the one part of this show that I don't even want to fucking watch is the Hellblade segment. Like, I don't give a fuck about Hellblade anymore. Like,
I do. Sure I want to see... This is going to...
though, right?
This is probably going to be a deep dive, like, into the gameplay, I'm guessing. Like, I don't think this will be shown like the other times.
If you read the description, because they kind of give like a breakdown of what to expect, right? So I'm gonna read what it says for each game.
Right, let's see.
So for Hellblade 2, it says, Ninja Theory takes us behind the scenes at their studio in Cambridge to give us some insight on how they are crafting Senua's Saga Hellblade 2.
So we took a drone shot and we flew it over the plains of Iceland so we could get photogrammetry and put it in our game. Like, cool.
The team will speak to the ambition and meticulous care involved in creating Senua's journey of survival. So we got the big gameplay trailer and stuff at the Game Awards just a month ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like they could have potentially had saved that for this, but they didn't. So, but what I'm thinking we're gonna get is like a lot of like these like behind the scenes mocap-y type things, talking about all this stuff that you see like artist computer screens where like they're like doing this finite detail artistic stuff, and then you'll have like little gameplay segments and stuff of like just like little clips of like a few seconds here and there, and them kind of explaining.
I think it's gonna be like everyone was begging for combat stuff. Like I bet it's gonna be like mocap of combat. Like it's like
that's
this
what
is
I'm,
how we
I'm
captured
thinking.
Combat or whatever, and then they're gonna show like a segment of it in game. Like
right. I think it's going to be a little bit of that, like a little bit what you guys are saying. Like if you were to sort of go back and look at some of their older developer diaries when the game was getting like kind of either like closer to launch or whatever, like the very last diaries that they started to make was a little bit more gameplay, basically kind of mixing that with the mocap and the technology and stuff. So I think yes, they will have the mocap in there, yes, they'll have that stuff, but I think they'll probably dive just a little bit deeper into some of those things, like maybe because they did a lot of mocap for the fighting and stuff like that.
And that's what everyone's been asking for to see is combat stuff. So
which we did get in the last trailer,
then
but it'll probably be more of that. Which again, Hellblade is my most anticipated this year. So I'm half. I don't want to see anymore, but also. Dang, I want to see. I
mean, it's crazy impressive every time they show us anything. Like, and because we did get the gameplay stuff now, I feel like people are going to be off of their back a little bit about it. And yeah, they'll probably have like show like what's it? Melina, is it Melina Juergens? Is that her name? The
actor.
Yeah. I forget the name off the top of my head. I think that's the name. But maybe doing like showing her like do combat like mocap and like this. I trained hard for the combat, and then maybe they'll do the combat stuff. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Then Ara History Untold says, hear from the leads at Oxide Games, a studio founded by veterans of the strategy genre and the creators behind classic strategy titles including Civilization V, as they unveil exclusive new gameplay and share more details about the inspiration, key features, and road ahead for their upcoming historical grand strategy game. Based on like early feedback from people that have actually played Ara in like the alphas and stuff like that, and the closed betas, things that they've done to play testing, there's a lot of people actually digging this game that are into strategy games. So I think this could be a potential like PC, like I'm not gonna say like hit like super. I don't think it's gonna like take the world by storm like a Baldur's Gate 3 or something like that, you know, but like I think it's going to be like become a potential franchise that stands for like a quality strategy game in the PC side, because of the things that they're doing in that space. So it's not coming to consoles day and date. So for people that are looking forward to that, like that's gonna be kind of like the non-huge game at this show, right?
Yeah.
But I do think they're gonna get some time. Each one of these games probably gonna get over 10 minutes, and they're gonna get some time to kind of really showcase it to try and drive up some hype and excitement for it, because it is a Microsoft published game. And then actually, Jasper, were you part of any of the? Did you do any of the
I
testing?
didn't, because I'm not like a big Civilization fan, so that's where I'm kind of iffy on this game. I want to see like exactly how it plays and looks before I decide if I want to really play it, because I don't like Civilization. So
Oh, you don't like
that's
Civ?
kind of, yeah, I don't care for Civ. So
I really only got into Civ 4. I got into Civ 4 a lot, but I haven't really played it too much since then. Sub Psycho,
Hey, what's up, everybody?
internet's going.
Yeah. So we had like a tornado watch, bad weather storm over here in Florida,
yeah,
and
Yeah.
Panama had tornadoes today. So did like
So-
Eastern Orlando.
yeah,
And
so
over here in
fucking-
Georgia.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was really windy and raining like crazy. But got home and then I was like, no fucking internet. So I had to sit there, reset the router modem. That didn't do it. So I had to go to Spectrum and go ahead and reboot it on their side and got it to fucking finally work. So here I am.
Yeah, man.
Dude, tell us about what's going to be at this show. Because apparently,
Right?
you know what the heck is going to be.
Nostradamus here, man. He's
I know,
Yeah.
dude. That was like,
That was crazy.
for Indiana Jones, we haven't heard nothing. So I mean, I don't know. It was like something just felt like we were probably gonna see it, and
Yeah, it's been in development for a while, right? And
yeah,
we don't know.
Was 2 years before the announcement trailer from when we were doing our I think Jasper was looking and he found a couple of people or some LinkedIn post that they've been working on it for a while. So I think it was 2018. So if they've been working on that long, and we're in 2024 now, that seems like it's going to be right about that time where we're probably going to see it. So I think we'll see. I mean, like Boom said, could very well see maybe a shadow drop of either Gears, because that also is heavily talked about, and a lot of smoke about that game. And then I was a little surprised that we didn't see Towerborn. So
Uh-oh. Well,
There
they
you
got
Towerborn,
him.
and then
oh,
like
dude, he's
Oh.
back. He's back.
Hey, back.
You're back, Psycho.
Are you back?
Maybe not.
Are you?
I think his internet's okay. He's back.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm
Like,
back.
Okay.
Okay.
Your internet was cutting out for a minute.
Oh no, I'm not. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, well,
Where were
what you
we?
guys? What
Yeah.
did you guys?
No,
Say?
I think you were saying that you were surprised that Towerborn wasn't there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was surprised we didn't see Towerborn in the thumbnail. So, I don't know what the other studio, what that fourth game is, because it was Avowed, Hellblade, Indiana Jones, and what was the fourth game?
Is Ara History Untold?
That was Ara.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
It
the
was
strategy
selection
game.
about
We were
that
just
game.
talking about that game. Like it's coming to PC first. It's not coming to console day and date. Like, so that's
Yeah.
kind of like the out of the games that we know about there. That's kind of like the more of like not as big of a game. You know, the other three are going to be like huge. You know, they're huge
Yeah.
AAA type games, right? So, but R is going to be that strategy kind of niche, you know, audience
Yeah.
type game.
What if
Yeah,
Stalker 2 is the shadow drop?
I don't think Stalker 2. I don't think it is right now. I think they're really. I think they're gonna push a holiday for that game. If they're trying to really.
They said, I
polish
think
it
they
up.
said early 2024.
Yeah,
So,
I thought they did too.
But like the
Well-
other thing with that though is that because it's not a first party game, like they may just
Wait for this for the
do
June
something
showcase.
else. Or I think the game could be potentially like a March or April type game, but we'll see.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking for Stalker 2, the March or April. But like I don't know if they would include it at the first party show. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, the Oxide games is there.
But
or
it's
whatever.
but their publishing are they own the IP. So
Yeah.
again, that's
Okay.
different. Like like
think-
we always have these damn discussions. Like there's lots of first party games made by third party studios. It's first party if they publish and they own the IP, right? Like and
We
that
call that second party, and
gamers,
industry doesn't. But
Yeah,
gamers
like,
do.
but
Yeah, Alvin says I don't think we can say I don't think at this point.
to the industry, there's no second party. Like there's just first party
Yeah.
and third party, right? Like
Yeah, for industry, that is correct.
so,
They-
again, a Sobo makes Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Killer Instinct was made by Double Helix and then Iron Galaxy. Like, and you could the list could
My
goes on
thought
and on
with
and
that
on.
is like with Stalker 2, like the game is pretty much out there. Like
Right.
if you like it's been leaked so much and like all the codes out there and like there's just so many like the entire game is pretty much on the internet if you look for it. So like
yeah, I
they could
get
just
it
do,
timing
but-
wise. I know that the last Dev Directed is all first party stuff, right?
yeah, I just like
And
Microsoft may like try to like play into emotions a bit with like the
Yeah.
whole situation with Stalker.
that
And
could be the
I
case.
could see them doing that. And they've been like really close because they even had him at like the second showing at the Xbox showcase, the second show last year. I think it was either last year or the year before where they had like a whole like special segment with them. So
So
So-
you guys are thinking for Shadow Drop either Stalker 2, the Gears of War collection. I'm thinking if I put another game in that hat, maybe the Halo thing. But
or
that
Kiln
I don't know
was
if I would
Kiln
say
was the
that.
original like Shadow Drop rumor that everyone was kind of going
Yeah,
with.
Kiln?
Kiln from Double Fine.
That's a good one.
The Halo one, I think, is a long shot. 3-bit. I said that for fun
Yeah.
this morning on Boom Show because I think that would be awesome. That would make
That'd
the
be fun.
hugest
But maybe
fucking
they'll save
splash.
that, you think? For
No.
I mean, they don't need to save much games anymore. They have so many
when it's
freaking
ready, they'll put it. I think when they launch that, they'll probably launch it in some kind of like a beta, like preview thing, you know, because it's a
Yeah.
multiplayer focused game. But whenever it's ready, but I think the right thing to do it when they do launch it is have no lead up, just launch the damn thing, right?
Mhm.
Just put it in
Yeah.
beta and all that kind of stuff. Don't like give the internet a chance to pick apart Halo before you drop anything Halo, because that's what they'll do. They'll just fucking pick it apart. It worked for Apex Legends when they dropped that. You know, like they literally there was a rumor,
Had, like,
then
a
2
day,
days
yeah.
later it came out. You know, so that would be awesome. I think that would be amazing. But I think more than likely, like if I was to actually be serious and pick one, I think could be possible. It would be like the Oblivion remaster and couple that with the Fallout 4 update. Like a potential like after Obsidian talks about Avowed.
Or they don't even do a shadow drop. They just announce the Oblivion remake or whatever, and then like later on they announce the Fallout 4 remake when the show comes out, or the Fallout 4 update when the show comes out. Just do like a blog post with that.
Yeah, could. Yeah, they could do that as part of the ESO show.
People in chat are pointing out Stalker 2 is not first party.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
that's what I
think
said.
we'll-
Chat.
I think
it's just, I feel like they're really close to Microsoft. That's why I was putting that out
yeah,
there. But
I agree with you, Jasper, about because like they've talked about them a lot, and like that is they want to push that game as associated with Xbox. So I get why they would do it. I just don't know, like if they do that, then you're setting a precedent at this point that okay, we can maybe expect third party stuff at these things as well. So who knows, right?
Unless they do couple like surprise, like couple one more things. If they do have Stalker 2 there, and possibly have like a they won't announce, but maybe say, hey, they're part of the crew now. Because they, like you guys said, they worked with what is it, Game World
It's
or something?
GSC Game World, I think, right?
that's the Stalker's publisher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think
so. I think they maybe possibly feel something for this band of people that have unfortunately been some really bad circumstances of where they live, and possibly like, hey, why don't you guys join the Xbox team? And maybe that's what they've been holding off on with that game, and possibly.
I feel like that's why you don't invest in the company right now.
that's a good point too. Like at the end of the day, like it would be a great story, Psycho. Like they stuck through them, and I think first off they want to see how the game does, probably.
Yeah.
Right, and then if the game did well, maybe they would do something, but like also like it probably wouldn't be the best time to invest in the studio either, just because of the situation going on. But like,
if they move them out of Ukraine and put them, they set up a new studio somewhere else in Europe.
Well, let's acquire you and move you out of your home and somewhere else.
Well, aren't they in is it not Prague?
They're in Kyiv.
Yeah.
Kyiv is where they're originally from.
Yeah,
right?
it's the capital of Ukraine.
Yeah, but they're not there now. They left you.
Yeah.
Some of them did. Some of them couldn't because they forced like men between a certain age to stay in the country in case of defense.
Yeah. Well, yes. But the ones the devs that were able to leave, they are not there anymore.
Yeah, that just kind of goes like the whole mess of the situation, though. You know what I mean? Like it would be a cool story. I think like it would be awesome, but like I don't necessarily foresee that studio being acquired. Like maybe one day when things like normalize a little bit there, but right now it'd probably be like a difficult situation, like because. But it's not to say that it's not possible. I mean, it is possible.
Even if the game comes out this year, that was shocking.
But like, Microsoft ain't gonna acquire a studio out of pity. That's for damn sure. They're not or charity or anything.
No, but if the game looks and plays very well, I mean, Phil Spencer is a great judge of character. He can see, well, this game, from what I've played so far, it's a hell of a game. He could. If I'm just saying this is all hypothetical. Not saying this is what's happening, but it could possibly. But I do think that we'll probably. I think we will see outside of Stalker 2. I think we'll also see either Towerborn as a one more, or and Gears. I think we're going to see Gears.
Do we have a release date on that 33 Immortals game?
Is that one? Was that first party? That was
no, but it's just
game. It's a Game Pass Day 1 game, right?
Game Pass game.
And what was announced today? Game Pass. It was
I was just trying to think of like
Power
smaller
World.
smaller indie
Pokemon
stuff that could like be shadow dropped.
I think if okay, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a shadow drop, right? It could
release date.
You could get a surprise new game announcement, right? They have plenty of games to announce.
Yeah,
so
like
you could get a surprise new game announcement. And that could be
another one more
later this year or next year, right? Like that's a possibility. You could have an update on a game that we already know about, and hey, surprise, this game's coming this year as well. Like they could show Contraband, right? Like out of nowhere, be like, oh, Contraband's gonna be there, cool. Like, hey, remember when we talked about this game? Or like it really,
or they could just disappoint, and this is the 4 games that are gonna be here.
Yeah, and I think like that's a possibility, but I think they set themselves up for people that have an expectation of like a one more thing type thing. But it doesn't have to be a shadow drop. Like that's crazy if we expect them to shadow drop something at every fucking event they have. They could,
but they could.
They could.
That's the crazy thing. They fucking could.
But I don't want them to be
all the
like
little
people,
passion projects they're working on.
If some people get disappointed if these things don't happen, right? So it's like
it's already showing way more than I thought it would. So the shadow drop is just literally a cherry on top of a freaking cherry at this point. Like
100%. Like we should never expect that. Like, but if it's possible, but I do expect there to be some kind of extra little thing at the show.
Now, what do you think that thing is?
I don't know. I have no. It could be it could be a million different things, bro.
I will feel bad for Pal World if Gears of War does get shadow dropped, because that's the same day.
Oh, Pal World, Pal World's coming to Game Pass the day after the Dev Direct. So
Pal World's been announced for Game Pass.
Is it the 19th?
The 19th.
The 18th, 19th, something like that. Yeah.
Pal World's coming on the 19th. The Dev Direct is the 18th.
Oh, is the 18th? Oh, I thought it was the 19th. Oh, never mind then. Never mind.
So Gears, huh? Maybe we should listen to Psycho this time.
Gears
I just
is a
feel
possibility. Yeah,
it could be.
It's just there's a lot of smoke that's been surrounding Gears Phoenix collection for a very long time, and we know that they said they stopped working on whatever new projects, but after Hive Busters, we haven't heard anything outside of they're working on UE5 stuff for the Matrix demo and helping.
The main person who's been pushing Gears has been Nick, and I don't always.
That's what I was about to say. Is
you about to say that?
Not the Nick part, but I was just going to say I don't fully trust the Gears rumor, because the initial rumor back in the day was there's another collection in the works, and people were speculating it was Gears or possibly a Fable thing. And then lately, the last year or so, it's always been it's a Gears collection. It's a Gears collection, but there's never been any other evidence to support that. It's
I'll just say that there's people that I trust that say that it's 100% real. I'm not going to tell you who.
The Gears collection?
Yeah, the Gears collection is like there's people that I trust that have said that. I'm not going to say who it is.
Even Jez was saying.
No, I know who you're talking about, because he told me.
Even Jez was like, it's like, yeah, I haven't heard it from my end, but hey, that's what Nick has been saying. So
yeah,
I don't even follow Nick's.
I don't know where they're getting. I don't know where these other people are getting their information from, right? But I will say that recently, very recently, the same person that has told me that this was right about other things, including the fact that the Dev Direct was going to be announced today.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the same person, and I'm not going to say.
Oh, it could be. And when did we start hearing these rumors? Because if so, it's been in development for.
It was right. I feel like the original collection stuff was like shortly after the 1X came out, wasn't it?
No,
guess
no.
so.
The more recent that we heard was
Well, yeah, the more recent, but I'm saying like the original like rumor back in the day of like a collection was in the works.
2021. That I don't know. When the actual
When the first rumor came about.
yeah, because they were working on Gears 5 at the time, so I don't know. You know, now the only thing that we, because we've heard that people like, oh, wait until if they do a remaster of Gears with UE5, it's going to look nuts just because what they did with Gears 5 with the Series X enhancement, that when they optimized Gears 5 for Series X, people then
So the original rumors circulated back in 2015 of a collection was in the works.
That could have
Who's-
been when
who's
they were
that?
just starting the idea of getting the production going on it. Maybe, I don't know, but like,
and that wasn't UE5 at that time, So the thing, like, if they do a Master Phoenix collection, like they did with when they remastered
Master
the first one,
Master Phoenix,
or
love it. That's the crossover
Marcus
between the
Phoenix,
Master Chief and Marcus Phoenix. They get
exactly.
together.
Yeah, they have a baby. It can happen. It's 2024 now. No, I think that we definitely. Oh, I'm trying to fucking Jesus Christ. I think with now I lost train of thought. Holy shit.
It's
Are you trying to say that it was like the Halo MCC where you could switch back and forth? Is that where you were going? Or
No. It was
Cocaine's a hell of a drug, everybody.
Dude. My God.
Okay.
All right,
No,
we'll just move
I
on.
don't know.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
it's
I don't know.
a possibility. The Gears collection is a real thing, right? There's people I trust that say it 100% is, and there was thinking that there would have already been an announcement on this before now, but I don't know 100% because like I don't know where their sources are and all that kind of stuff, right? But at the end of the day, I know that sometimes these people are right, and like the Gears collection, if that was to be a shadow drop or and at least announced at this would be a big thing, that would be pretty cool. That would be awesome, actually, like to be able to have that to play all year, especially like and what I most would be excited about is kind of the multiplayer side of it, to kind of have the mashup of the 3 games and all the maps and everything, kind of if they did that kind of like Master Chief Collections aspect to it. But then also in the UB5 playing co-op through that with you guys, I mean, that'd be so much fucking fun, dude.
It'd be 30 frames a second, and
no,
this is
not Coalition. Coalition got it.
I
well, it's
remember
not
what I was
open
going to say.
world either, so you know.
Yeah, with the Gears of War remaster of the first Gears of War, they introduced the PC version, the missing act that was in PC, because that whole Brumok fight scene in the very beginning of Gears 1, if you guys remember, if you play the Ultimate Edition, they added that to because it was in the first Gear. If they added cut content that, so they could, because we heard a lot of content was cut for Gears 2 and 3 that they couldn't put it in the game because of time. Now, if they've been working on it and finishing those content, it could very well be a thing that we could see with this Marcus Phoenix collection, that there's added for the campaign portion of the game. There's more content now, and possibly whatever other maps that they cut from multiplayer, because they moved on to the next game, and then Epic wasn't a thing anymore after Gears 3. So we could very well see that as well, if they've been working with Epic, allowing, if they still have, whoever owns that additional content, if it was if Xbox bought the whole everything, or whatever the case was, but possibly we could get that. That would be amazing to see new acts in the campaign, so more content of for the story that because Gears of War 2 and 3 were very beloved, especially with the whole Maria scene, because I heard that was cut, and there was a lot of stuff missing from that, and the whole
MCC
just
did that
a
too.
lot.
They released a lot of the old maps that was supposed to be on the original Halo 2 disc,
Mhm.
but just couldn't fit. And then
Yeah.
they just released that to everyone, which was awesome. I'm glad they
Yeah, they
did
also ended
that.
up doing the PC stuff, the stuff that only released on PC.
Yeah, where you can
Right.
get like the E3 demos and
Mhm.
lost
Yeah.
levels and stuff like that.
Yeah, so there's
was-
a lot of cool things they could do with this, and like supposedly like this Gears collection would have that lost content that was cut out of Gears 2 and stuff. So like,
But I do kind of want to take the conversation because our thumbnail, right? Indiana Jones. I feel like we
Yeah.
haven't talked about it enough. Just because I really want to get from you guys, where do you think they'll take this game based on Machine Gun's past, or what do you think the story of it could be like? Just speculating on what we might see out of Indiana Jones, just based on who they are.
I will say it's telling because they did not show who the Indiana Jones, if it's young Indiana Jones.
I mean, I feel like
or-
it's got to be young Indy
why
just because
is-
of the time frame.
is he shadowed
Or
out because they
mid.
don't want to reveal the character, like the look?
I
of
think they
I'm
wanna
hoping they don't
go-
avoid the Avengers, the cosplay dollar Harrison Ford look. I really hope that's not a thing. I'm sure they
No,
do great, but
I think they want to, if they're going to introduce a younger Indiana Jones, they don't want to reveal that yet. You know, they're going to reveal that. I guarantee when the showcase starts on the 18th, that picture will not be shadowed.
It's going to be a woman version of Indiana.
A woman, oh my god, with a woman with a male silhouette. That's crazy.
It's Indiana Jones's granddaughter, Indiana
twin
Jones. She was
sister.
named after him, right? No, I'm just kidding. I like it.
Lewis said it's probably the actor reveal. That'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
Like, but like, how
it
are they
doesn't
gonna
have
do
to
that,
be
you know?
Harrison Ford. That's the thing. Like the thing with Indiana Jones, the video game, if you step outside of having it look like Harrison Ford, then you have more possibilities of having that people wouldn't be upset because if they have Indiana Jones, but yet they have a whole different voice actor, people are gonna bitch about that. But if you have a whole different actor in itself, then no one's going to be like, oh, the voice is, like, but it's a whole different character. This is Machine's Game's version of Indiana Jones.
It's
I'd
gonna
rather-
be interesting though to see like what it's,
I would rather have a new actor play him and have a different look. Don't get me wrong, love Harrison Ford, but he's getting up there in age. You can't use his voice anymore. They did that with the movie. So you saw a young Indiana Jones, but you saw you heard a 90-year-old Harrison Ford speaking,
Yeah,
and it was fucking horrible.
you could tell.
I'm sorry. I outside of that, it was a decent movie, but you could fucking tell he's getting up there in age. So no Shia LaBeouf, Lewis.
maybe they use AI. This is the AI thing, and they got like approval and stuff with like Harrison Ford to be able to like use his likeness and his voice, and they could like do it that
If
way.
they-
I'm fine with
Disney
just
this-
doing a random dude. Like I don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, like a random person. But if they have like that dark, raspy voice, like close
It's
to
Troy
like Harrison
Baker.
Ford-
He's Indiana
No,
Jones.
God damn it!
Have y'all seen a movie called Age of Adeline?
No, I don't think so.
So
Sounds familiar.
it has Blake Lively in it and Harrison Ford's in it, and then there's this guy.
Oh yeah. Where
that-
she
that-
never ages or whatever.
Right, and so there's a guy that plays Harrison Ford's character like at a younger age, right? And he looks just fucking like Harrison Ford.
I was
and he
gonna say,
sounds like
like-
him too, bro. Was
Should've played him.
uncanny, man. Like
I was gonna
they
say
need to
maybe
get that
someone like
guy.
Scott Eastwood, Clint Eastwood's son.
Yeah, but he's not a very good actor though.
Yeah, but I mean, like I don't know. I feel like he kind of fits the Indiana.
Yeah, no,
vibe.
he does. He fits that mold. He would be probably pretty good at it, but like he's not like as far as acting chops, I haven't
Yeah.
seen him ever really do anything like where it's like he stood out as bad in some movies for sure that are good movies. Man, like his dad is so fucking like great, and he's got the look though. Like he looks like
Yeah.
his dad. Like I want to see Scott Eastwood like be in some westerns and really like nail that, and then he can go on and do the rest of his career. But like, I don't know. Every time you see him in a movie,
That's one
he's just kind
Western. Just one.
yeah, he's not horrible. It's just I don't know, like it's not that great. But yeah, Age of Adeline actor. God, what's his name?
Did you see?
Look at him, but he looked exactly. He should have played him in freaking
Solo. Yeah,
Solo.
I wanted him to get cast for Solo, but he didn't. I ended up thinking the guy that was in Solo did pretty good.
He did great.
Who are you talking about?
Anthony and Gruber. Anthony
That
and
guy?
Gruber.
Gruber?
And-
Gruber?
What's his name
Anthony and Gruber.
For
for the Age of Adeline?
yeah, you
Yeah.
play William Jones or something in Age of Adeline.
think.
Dr. Jones. No, it was
Yeah,
Norman
young-
Reedus
that's young.
and the wacky fetus? No, thank you.
it was the young William Jones.
Yeah, I guess that's
But like, I don't see the name of the actor. What's his name?
Anthony
And Gruber.
I'll put it in the-
Gruber.
Yeah, I'll
and
put it in
Gruber.
the chat. There you go. You can copy and paste it if you want.
He's German.
Anthony
Gruber.
and Gruber. Okay.
And Gruber.
And Gruber.
Where is in our chat?
I just put it in the YouTube chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ty Howard's doing the mocap for Indy.
That would be funny.
Anthony and Gruber. Okay. I'll look this up. Anthony. God, what a weird name. Has this guy done any other movies?
I was just looking that up. The last movie he did, he actually played as.
Wait, he was in Indiana Jones?
Was he?
Was he?
What the heck? He was. He was in Indiana Jones.
Which one? The new one?
The new one.
How was he in
He
Indiana
played as his
Jones?
double.
Did he?
Wow, yeah. Or something double. It
What-
says Indiana
Was he the
double.
young actor
That's
double?
right.
Like,
No, let me see. He did something. I don't know. It says double Indiana Jones
Indiana
Double
Jones double
Dutch
Dutch
Prince.
Prince.
bitter.
did you say double Dutch?
Prince.
Double Dutch Prince. He was a double for somebody.
Yeah,
Dutch
the Dutch
Prince,
Prince.
is bitter or
Yeah.
something. I don't know, but that's crazy that he was in there. Huh? You guys think he's in this game?
No, I'm just saying it like that would be a good person to play.
I mean, he literally played him twice. Well, no, he didn't play it the
No, he
second time.
played
He
the
was probably a double.
played
He's the Dutch
Prince
Prince
guy.
winner. But he was around Harrison for
It's been around him a lot, but he does. Here, he does have some things like
He did
video
some
games.
games.
Voice acting,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
done voice acting.
He was in Horizon.
He played Hades
Yeah.
in Horizon Forbidden West.
He's
So-
in the Batman Telltale games.
Yeah, he was in those. He was in
Yeah.
Lego DC Supervillains.
He's a voice actor.
Yeah, he's in voice acting. He's in TV. He's been in I think some voice acting roles on TV shows as well as some other
Amnesia,
things.
Postal 4.
Total
He
Warhammer
played.
3.
He's in Lego DC Supervillains.
Mm.
He played as the Joker in the Telltale.
He was in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. He was the body double for the de-aged Harrison Ford.
And he played as Han Solo's voice in a Star Wars Episode 4 Laser Moon Awakening. It was like an audiobook or something.
That's like a fan film.
What is
I
that?
think.
As a fan film?
Yeah.
But still, just saying. That's crazy. He's a voice actor. He just happens to be around Harrison Ford. Call me crazy.
Yeah,
But
I'm saying like cast that guy if you want to go young Harrison Ford. he's literally like the voice, everything. He nailed it
Some people
in
want to
Age of
see a
Adeline.
picture if you can.
Okay. I'm trying to get a good picture because like okay, here we go. I don't know how big I can make this, but this was him in like Age of Adeline.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
He was really good in Age of Adeline. I don't know how well it shows in the picture, but he does like the same kind of expressions.
Yeah,
and
he has
stuff
the
in there.
same facial expressions and everything, bro. Like,
Yeah, so even if you say, it doesn't look like him, like in motion, it kind of does. He did a pretty good job.
yeah, he nailed it in that movie, and it was like it was kind of uncanny, and like he was cast in that movie probably because he looked a lot like and could sound like and do a great Harrison Ford impersonation. So I'm just saying, like, you got the person there. I literally did a double for him in Indiana Jones, which that was fucking news to me. I had no idea. Now, so you got this like younger doppelganger of Harrison Ford that obviously Hollywood knows is a young doppelganger for Harrison Ford. So fucking cast him.
And the voice actor.
He has voice acting for video games already. So yeah, that should be the fucking Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out who they end up picking. I wonder if it's Troy Baker.
Oh
but
God, that
not...
would be the name. Oh yeah, we casted Troy Baker. Fuck, I don't want that at all. But
Ellie, we gotta go get the stone.
I mean,
Ellie.
the thing with the Indiana Jones thing that we can kind of take away is if you look at the image that they leaked, you can see that it's kind of jungly. So we can infer that it's going to be in a jungle somewhere. Whether that's like Asian jungle or South American jungle, I don't know.
Okay. Pre Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, it's going to be young Indy for
Is
sure.
This canon? Like, do we know if it's canon?
I don't know if it's canon, but I would figure
like
it'd be
in
young
between
Indy.
a movie or something, or probably not.
I would say before the movies, because like they had a TV show back in the day. I think it was called Young Indy, and like it kind of told like different stories of like how he kind of grew up and stuff. He was like treasure hunting around like America or whatever it was.
Yeah. So he is probably going to be played by a younger actor, we can assume, but like gameplay wise, we kind of talked about this a little bit before, but like what is this game going to be? Like when they're going to give us our first gameplay trailer, like is Machine Games is known for first person shooters, right?
And known for killing Nazis.
And like I just want to throw this out there. So Machine Games like was founded, and a lot of the talent that has started Machine Games was the same talent and the people that started Starbreeze Studios, right? And Starbreeze back in the day made Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay, right? And then the sequel to that and stuff. So that studio, and also The Darkness, I believe, was Starbreeze. That studio has a track record for bringing good IP to life. And remember, Wolfenstein wasn't their original creation either.
All those are first person.
So Machine Games has taken several different licensed IP now, like or the people that have founded the studio have taken several different IP now and translated it magnificently to either be a new version of it with Wolfenstein, or like what they did back when they were the founders and all those people were with Starbreeze. Did it with the Escape from Butcher Bay. Also The Darkness as well. So like there's reason to be excited for their take on this because they haven't really fucked it up. Right?
I mean, it could honestly, like, I know we've been talking about like the first or third person thing, but like almost Wolfenstein fit could work because you have several scenes in like Wolfenstein where like your gameplay is going to be first person, but you have like several cinematic cutscenes where like you see BJ like his face and stuff. So like maybe they just leave like the actual look for Indy for the cutscenes and stuff, and maybe there's some like third person cinematics where you're like in a chase sequence, like driving a car or something. But first person could work for the game. I know like a lot of people were like wanting third person stuff, so it's like I don't know.
Well, like
Yeah, just based on their history, they've done only first person.
How are you going to use a whip and stuff with first person? It'd be a little interesting.
You just swing it like a.
You know that game from Gearbox where they have like they have a whip kind of. What's that game called? It was basically Bulletstorm. Don't they have like some sort of whip mechanic?
Like it's like a short grappling hook like thing kind of.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be something like that if it is in first person. Maybe I'm guessing how they'll use the whip, like it'll be kind of like your grappling hook to get across maybe sections if they add any platform elements in the game, like if you need to
it could be like
jump across.
Heavy Core in the chat says it's kind of like the thing in Halo Infinite, the grapple hook, like kind of that, but like a little more like not straight movement, like it's like kind of more curved when you swing it. So
yeah, maybe you can take someone's gun with it, like in the movies, like use a whip. They'll use a cool mechanic.
Honestly, like I don't even think the whip is going to be heavily used in combat. I think it's going to be it's going to be used for combat. But I'm saying like I don't think it's gonna be,
he's going to like swing across a column or some shit.
Yeah, hit like a tree or something and like swing across a tree.
Think about who this is, Jasper. This is Machine Games where they go over the top.
You can use it in combat, but you're going to have a gun, so like you're just going to shoot the dude.
Yeah, but to differentiate it, to make it more like indie, they're definitely going to use the whip as a mechanic somehow, like with other stuff. I don't know how they're going to do it, but just knowing Machine Games and playing like Wolfenstein, where you'll be like there's a whole wheelchair a section. I don't know if people remember that in Wolfenstein. I think it was 2, where you're going through the hospital and you're shooting people on a wheelchair. I just feel like just knowing they're willing to do gameplay mechanics like that, they're definitely going to use the whip somehow. I think what they'll do maybe is use it to take people's guns, and I wouldn't put a timer on your whip. No, I wouldn't put a timer on your whip. Just let him use.
I feel like you have to have like
a timer on
it. Has to be, it's
like you use it and you have to wait.
Like say you're like standing on a balcony or something, like you swing it down to like grab a guy around the neck or something, like you can like hang him like to choke him out, and then like you hit a button to release your whip or something.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's lots of possibilities. Like it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. Like Todd Howard is overseeing the game, right? But it's developed by Machine Games.
And also, it's fucking Indiana Jones. He doesn't just go around shooting everyone. Like,
right.
He kills some people, but he doesn't just like he's not a mass murderer.
Honestly, he gets in a lot of fist fights. You know, if you like in the movies, he's throwing a lot of punches. You know, that's his first line of defense. He's throwing a punch. You know, he's
on a lot of moving vehicles.
Yeah, he gets knocked around a lot. He's running when there's guns usually. Like he'll shoot back. You know, like if he gets one and stuff. But like a lot of the movies, like he's trying to get out of bad situations. You know what I mean? And like I feel like the most fun I could think of like an Indiana Jones game being is like trying to portray that somehow. All these crazy situations, and you're just trying to like accomplish your goal, like explore these dungeons or get the treasure, and then have these like set pieces and stuff like that. The thing that people may not like with that is that probably means a lot of QTE events, right? Like
I think they bounce.
I mean, like
even all this kind of stuff, right?
Like even if you like try to translate it to the movies, like even in the movies, like Indiana Jones like gets to the treasure room first, and then like right when he gets there, then the bad guys get behind him, and then you have like a whole sequence.
After he's
and
like,
he gets
"Yes,
out.
I got it." Then he looks behind him, and there's like a whole army of people,
and then he like,
pointing guns at him.
Gets out of there, and then he's like at the next treasure room. Like they have that whole in between journey. So like if they just take that in between journey,
usually a race.
Yeah. So like you just fill it with story in between to like get connection with the characters, like between different treasure rooms or whatever while you're being chased, and then you have your big action pieces to get out of the treasure room to get to the next place or whatever.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I think
that's how you translate the movie to the game.
Oh, do you all think the main traversal will be in first person or third? I think mainly third, but I'll have first person set pieces.
You fly the damn plane.
Oh man, that'd be cool. If you got vehicles and stuff in this.
Oh,
think about that.
The map. Yeah, Yeah, I'm sure they'll do third person vehicles.
They gotta have some
third
vehicle
person
chase
vehicles.
sequence. Like it's in every fucking
Yeah.
Indiana Jones
It
movie.
has.
Yeah, you
It's a
gotta have the
requirement to check.
motorcycle with like the little side thing
The
on
sidecar,
it. Yeah, the
yeah.
sidecar that comes off midway through the thing. Or in like the last movie, they had like the 3-wheeled vehicles where they're driving those through. What was it, Morocco? I think is where they're
Yeah,
at.
something
I
like
can't
that.
remember where they were, but
Alvin says he thinks the whole game will be in the third. Here's the thing. I want it to be in third. I'm just judging it based on all the games Mav was just listing. That was all first. Not to say, and I said this on another podcast a while ago where I was saying you're a developer, you can basically like they're all talented, right? They're able to just move the camera outside of the head and do third and then mess with the locomotion and stuff like that. I'm not saying they're not capable of that. I'm just saying they are just known for being very good at first person. So that they'll probably want to stick to that just naturally as a studio when they adapted these different uh like licenses like Chronicles of Riddick and Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein makes sense because they were adapting one of the
A
first
first-person
few
shooter.
video
Do a
games. Yeah,
first-person shooter.
first person shooter, so you wouldn't want to make that a third. Chronicles of Riddick, you probably could have made that third person, but they did a great job. It was like a stealth sort of game.
And I
that
think
makes
that the
sense,
third person
but-
thing, it honestly like it wouldn't matter too much depending on
Sure,
how
Alvin,
heavily
sure.
the story is like. If there's a lot of cutscenes and stuff, like it really won't matter because you'll still be seeing your character a lot. So it just depends on how much that story and cutscene influences. Like,
Yeah. And that said, would it be too complicated to switch between first or third on the fly? No, just when you the reason why a lot of games don't make it so you can switch from first to third is how the game feels. Like if a game is in first person, most games what they do is just animate the arms and try to make that feel really good. Because your camera, the FOV is all tied to just what you're looking at. But third person, it's more so about how the character's animations and how that feels. It could be kind of hard to mix the two. The only people that kind of do that is Bethesda that I could think of that does first and third.
yeah.
And it can feel a little wonky sometimes with like you're just like let me just go to first, or oh I like third. Not everybody could do it well. I'm thinking if they do mix it, it'll just be in what we're saying, like big moments where the Indy's like driving away and there's Nazis shooting at him, or he's on top of an airplane, he's punching people and people are trying to get in it, and you can like punch them through the little chopper wing thing. I feel like that's when they would do third. I kind of hope I'm wrong and it is just straight third, and then Machine Game's like, screw you, 3-bit. We are we can do whatever we want. We'll see. But whenever you mix first and third, it is hard to do both, because when you're creating the animations, you have to make it look good in third and first, and then the camera can be wonky. That's why if you would adapt, or you ever see those mods for games like Cyberpunk where you take the camera out of a game that's intended to be first person and it's just like, whoa, it looks dumb.
I remember reading something in a gaming magazine a long time ago, and it was about with that game where you had the glaive that you threw it, like, was it Dark Sector? Is that the name of it?
I love that game.
Okay, so
Dark
I
Sector.
remember, I think it was this game, and I remember reading something about the development of it and talking about when they like switched, I think, from like first person to third person or something during development. And it's like they had to like remake like everything kind of because like the way the camera and stuff works.
Yeah, even
with
levels
first
you
person.
build out can differ based on first or third.
Yeah.
Like Halo or something, they'll build out levels specific to the camera.
So it was like interesting realizing that back then how different it is, and then realizing, well, how are these games made that I can just switch seamlessly between the two. And I think it's like a lot more work goes into that than we would just assume, about making that a possibility, right? But who knows? I could be wrong. I guess you would know better, 3-bit.
It's harder to hide stuff. Like Tavish Hill said, there's a lot of level design stuff that gets tailored carefully to camera perspective. That's exactly right. Like sometimes even optimization goes into first person where you can like hide everything. That's
only
behind
render
you.
what's in front of you, and everything else is like not even there.
Yeah, but if you're third, you have to have a wider
Yeah.
field. So a lot of things change if you're mixing the two. But you know, they'll figure it out. I'm not saying they can't figure that stuff out, but if it is first and third, I just assume that if you get in a vehicle, it's third. If action segments could be third, riding a bike, and then the rest could be first. But we'll see.
We'll see. I hope there's like just a great
classroom
story.
segment where you're a professor and you got to teach kids.
No, please. Like, I anticipate the movie starting with something like that, you know, and then like,
oh my god,
or the game.
You gotta have it. He's a professor. That's part of his character.
Is he a professor at this point, or is he still a kid?
Or is he in college?
True.
Maybe he's a college.
I've been
student.
on mute. I've been on fucking mute this whole time, bro.
I was wondering where you were.
Dude, I'm like, why are these motherfuckers not fucking talking to me? What the fuck?
What were you saying?
No, pretty much like Indiana Jones. I think they definitely will have. I think they will touch before the movies. That time where, because we saw him at the Raiders of the Ark at the, you know, like, so I think they're gonna touch on just before that. So this way, it could be canon, but they have freedom to do whatever they want. So if they're gonna do treasure hunting, if it's gonna be heavily into treasure hunting, finding clues, things like that, I don't think he won't be that professor age, so I don't think we'll have that. So, but I do think that we do get a younger, not too young, but
what if they like plan on doing multiple games and are going to do games based on the movies, the original trilogy? Like,
they can.
Well, I mean, the thing is with the movies, like they take place so far in between each other, like you can fill in between movies. Like
this.
I mean, the first movie he's fighting Nazis, and then a couple movies later he's fighting fucking aliens. So
the only reason I'm saying that is like, you remember the first teaser, the thing that Todd had on his shelf was the Ark, right?
Yeah,
the Ark of the Covenant.
The Ark of the Covenant.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
that
like,
could be.
What if this is like, you know, Raiders of the Lost Ark game that
leading up
like
to
a different, or just a different interpretation of it, Mav? Is that what you're
kind of like a retelling of it where you get to
don't even touch the original movies. Just leave them be.
It'd be interesting, you know.
Just leave that story as it is. Don't even touch it. Tell your own story with Indy. You got it. Do your own thing.
You can still be inspired by it.
You can be inspired by it, but don't fucking do anything. You can mention the Ark. You can show the Ark in its crate, but don't fucking do anything else.
Don't ruin my childhood, Jasper says. You weren't even born yet when that movie came out.
We appreciated it though.
Yeah.
Later. No, I agree with Jasper. They should, with this version of Indy, they should probably not stay away from the movies. They can have little odes here and there. I mean, Uncharted basically ripped the heck out of Indiana Jones for all three of its games, just like different things. They basically like, we'll take that, thank you. We'll leave that way. We'll take that, you know. So there's no reason why Indiana Jones can't take its source material from Indiana Jones. This was the game that started this was the basically the IP that started Nathan Drake and Tomb Raider. So I think he can take some of that stuff back and do some cool stuff with the story. Maybe they can mix some of the different movies. I don't know what they're planning on doing. Some people said it could take place in Italy or something like that. Or
I mean, that's the thing. He travels around the world anyway, so you can take place.
That's literally a part. Yeah, like it has the map where the airplane where it goes to the different. So yeah, it's probably gonna jump around.
He finds a treasure piece here, and he's like, "Oh, we got to go to the." Like he finds a piece in the Colosseum or whatever. He's like, "Oh shit, this actually points towards people in the Mayan temples or some shit." So then he has to fucking fly all the way across the world. You know? It's like,
yeah, in the Dial of Destiny, they would like in 4 different locations. It seemed like you know, I don't remember everywhere they went, but like, we'll see. I have high hopes for the game because Machine Games is a super talented studio, and won't be long. All of these questions will hopefully be answered. And
it will. 10 minutes of gameplay
in 9 days from now.
Yep.
Right. So, the cool thing is that we'll have PM in the PM that night again, like I said earlier, and so we'll have our co-stream for the Dev Direct. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to be there or not, but we'll do a co-stream for the Dev Direct, and then later that evening we'll have PM in the PM at 7 p.m. Eastern time that night. So looking forward to it.
18th or 19th?
18th.
18th at 3 p.m.
Thursday. It's next Thursday.
It's on 3 p.m.
3 p.m. Eastern. So we'll probably go live at 2:30 Eastern.
I'll try.
Yeah,
I'll be at work.
no problem. If you can't make it, then you're off the channel for good. Yeah.
Oh darn.
It's pretty crazy too to think like just in about a little over a month's time, you know, we're getting information on an Indiana Jones game, and then we also got Blade announced last month.
I
Like,
know.
this is Xbox now, guys. This is fucking crazy. So speaking of Star Wars and Harrison Ford, there was other Star Wars news. Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Mandalorian and Grogu. We're getting a movie. And now Jon Favreau is the director. So that is the shining light here because I think he's pretty fucking awesome. And usually whatever he touches is good. But are we excited to see like Mandalorian hit the big screen, or like is this, or should they just kept to the shows? Like I don't really know what to think of it because it's gonna be interesting. Like is there gonna be a culmination to the Mandalorian thing? Like what is this movie gonna be? Like it's gonna be pretty crazy.
I think it's if it's anything, if they follow suit of whatever they did with the actual the end of what, season 3,
4, right?
4,
3,
with
4.
3?
I don't know.
I don't even remember what season they're on now.
So-
I think it was 3. I think they've only had 3, right?
Yeah, I think it was 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
whichever one, but they were about to crown, well, not crown, but they had
Bo-Katan
Bo-Katan.
or
Bo-Katan. She was pretty much the crown, like I guess crowned the head Mandalorian.
Yeah, she's the leader of Mandalorian.
leader?
Yeah, and they
now.
united the different factions
Yeah,
and stuff. And
so we could
to, like,
get a huge Mandalorian fight, a war with whatever threat that is happening in that movie. Because
Yeah, I mean it's interesting
we
because
know
like,
what's his name is still out there. The guy that played the dude from Breaking Bad. I forget his name. He had the original, the Black Saber.
yeah,
The Dark Saber.
I forgot his name, but he has clones of himself out there. But I'm assuming we'll get another season of Mandalorian before the movie comes out because he said this goes into production in 2024, and also we have the Ahsoka show, and that kind of takes place during the same time as this. So maybe there's a greater Empire threat, but again,
there is.
Yeah, with Thrawn and stuff. But
Yeah.
He's gonna have to figure out
the new Empire.
The thing that has me questioning this is like, first of all, it's a Mandalorian and Grogu. They made that clear, so I don't know how much of a threat that like he's not gonna fight the entire fucking empire. So
He ejects him into fucking space. He's spaced.
I'm hoping that he just leaves Grogu on a fucking babysitting planet
Fucking spaces Grogu.
Babysitting planet.
God damn it! This goddamn kid, fucking needy.
Mr. Xbot said Moff Gideon. Yeah, that's his name.
Moff Gideon. That's
thanks.
But the thing that has me questioned is Kathleen Kennedy said that this is a perfect story for a movie, and what the fuck does that mean?
Fuck that bitch.
So, yeah,
we'll see where this movie heads. Like, I think, I mean, out of everyone in the panel, I don't mind the Grogu, Mandalorian story.
I didn't mind him in season 1. I didn't even mind him part of season 2. It's just like okay, like this little puppet.
It was okay.
Fuck the puppet.
They should have
now.
just let
like,
him do the whole Jedi thing. That's what they should.
They should have just fucking spaced him.
That too.
I will say season 3 was one of my favorite seasons, and that did have less of him, or it had less of a focus on him, and had more of a focus on Mandalore, which was dope. Like, I want to see more of that. I want to see more like of their culture, like not taking off your helmet and the code and all that. All that I find so fascinating, and their world and stuff. So if we're gonna get a Mandalorian movie, I would hope, like, if you're doing a movie, you would assume that some people haven't seen this show, right? You would assume. If they're doing it that way, I don't know if they're taking into account like the shows, or if they want to do sort of an origin type thing. Like, these are questions I would kind of answer for the movie audiences, because movie audiences aren't necessarily Disney Plus watchers. So what I would do in the production of this is be like, okay, some people probably are not gonna have seen our show, so we kind of need to do some origin stuff, which is explaining.
I don't know if it's necessarily like it's kind of origin like, but it's going to be more so the story of how Grogu becomes like a full Mandalorian, because like they're starting to kind of go that way. So in the movie, like by the end of it, he's going to be like, "You're now a Mandalorian, Grogu," and it's like,
I wonder if he's going to start
a little
talking.
baby helmet or whatever.
Like, I can't picture him with a helmet. I feel like he will look like cute, but ridiculous in like a Mandalorian helmet. Like, it would just,
or instead of him wearing like a potato sack shirt, maybe they give him like a actual metal chest piece.
Like, even that, like, remember when he had the
chainmail?
He had the Jedi, the chainmail. Even that looked ridiculous on him. Like, okay. But we'll see. Like, I do think it needs some of. I feel like you're with me. It'll have some of an origin. I don't know how long or how much of a focus they'll have, but I would love to see more of Mandalore and their culture and all that. So I'm hoping, and it's Jon Favreau, right?
Yeah.
So I trust him. Like, I think I trust him to a point to go nerdy with the Star Wars franchise. I feel like a lot of other directors.
I think the thing with the movie aspect of it is, though, is like, I'm just wondering how much control that the other people have over him, like his decisions, like Kathleen Kennedy and such.
Yeah, because that's what happened with the other Star Wars. Like, I like those directors. I like J.J. Abrams, but basically he had no say in the editing room, had no say in the story department. He had a vision for what he wanted to do with Star Wars, and they basically were like, no, we're taking it in a whole other direction. So yeah, you're right. I do hope that they will trust Jon Favreau based on his history. Like, listen, get out of the editing room, get out of the story department. Let me make a good Star Wars film for you guys. We'll see if they give him that control. Historically, they have not, but they have been lenient with the TV shows. I know movies are a little bit different. There are different producers. There's different
different budget, different set of expectations,
different budget. I'm sure Grogu will probably be jumping around now. He's not gonna he would be a puppet, but he probably could do a lot more in a movie as opposed to TV budget. So a lot of different money hands with that, which means a lot of people wanting their say, a lot of politics, all this stuff happens on TV productions. I can speak to this because I've literally have experienced it so many different times of people like, a lot of voices goes into TV and movie productions and stuff like that. So I'm hoping we'll see. Historically, it has not worked in my favor with Star Wars movies, but we'll see. That's all I can say. We'll see. Just because, like, Jon Favreau, I love him as a director. I'm excited about this movie. I think, again, it could do some cool stuff with the Mandalore universe, but Disney cannot really be trusted right now with Star Wars movies. They have to prove it to me with the movies. I love the TV shows. I think they're killing it. I love Ahsoka. I love Mandalorian.
He hasn't directed a movie yet for Star Wars, right? I don't think.
No.
Yeah, he didn't do any of the
Favreau?
Yeah, no, he hasn't done any movies for.
No, he's
Star
just
Wars.
done Iron Man.
Yeah, he did Iron Man for him.
Iron Man, and he did Lion King, and then he did.
Yeah.
He did.
I think he helped us one of the Avengers.
Jungle Book, and one of the Avengers. Yeah, he did Jungle Book too.
He's a fantastic director. I feel like he kind of puts a lot into whatever he does, and like he's really invested into like the culture of it. So I think he's a great choice, and he's kind of helped shape the Mandalorian into what it is, for sure. So I think it's for that reason it's also the right choice, but like we'll see how it is, man. I like the Mandalorian show, but like I've liked it less like each season, kind of, right?
Because season 3 to me was like the best.
Yeah, season 3 was the best just because it kind of focused more on the Mandalorian side instead of.
I liked the second half of season 3 quite a bit. Like I guess with like the one thing about Grogu in season 3, he was a little bit toned down. He was just kind of there for some of it, but like early on with like the whole like training thing there and all that kind of stuff, I was like, oh fuck this stuff. Like but after they got past that, he was just kind of there, right? And when he was just kind of there, I was like, okay, this is cool because it was getting more into like the heart of Mandalorian stuff and all that, and that was cool. But like, I'm just curious with it being called The Mandalorian and Grogu. Like
it's like a road trip movie.
I just have a feeling it's gonna be a lot of like their journey, like kind of probably like something more related to Grogu to incorporate his name actually fully in the title, right? And for me, that kind of makes me not as excited. But you never know. It could be awesome, and we'll have to wait and see. But
yeah, hopefully they ditch that motherfucker as soon as possible.
Yeah,
he's like selling some toys.
G.I. Joe when they killed Duke in the first 5 minutes. Which one was that? The second G.I. Joe movie. And they killed Channing Tatum in like the opening sequence of the movie. That was interesting. You remember that? I was like, really? Mm-hmm. Duke's gone in the beginning of the fucking movie? Like, they tried to pull a Optimus Prime, but they realized that nobody gave a shit about those movies, and it didn't really work. Like the Transformers movie back in the day. But like, I don't know. That was weird.
The second G.I. Joe was better than the first one. Because they did justice to Cobra Commander
they both were
and
kind of
Destro.
Ass, though.
Yeah, they're both
but at least it wasn't that fucking clear, like gelatin mask thing. At least in the second one, he had.
I mean, they were wearing like mech suits and shit. Like it was just so weird. Man. It's like, come on, just like
that was like everyone got excited into Transformers, huh?
I wanted to see a trash talking pirate, sailor with a parrot on his shoulder, and
Shipwreck. You want Shipwreck?
Yeah, right. I wanted Shipwreck.
I'll give you Shipwreck.
I wanted all the great like G.I. Joe characters in that.
I mean, they had Zartan. They had fucking.
Yeah.
Commander.
I mean, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow were
that
were-
movie was pretty good. The
were
Snake
good.
Eyes movie was decent.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, they had decent characters. But the mech suit one, that was the first one. That's why it sucked butthole. The
Well, then
second
Duke
one,
wasn't even in the second one hardly at all. It was
that's what made it great.
But it turned into a rock movie, man. It was like, yeah, okay, yeah,
That's whatever.
sure.
It did turn into the Rock sort of movie.
It is what it is. I mean, that's
But it had some cool scene. I like the scenes where they're fighting on the mountain. They're like they run along it, and slice the other ninjas. That was cool.
Yeah, I guess the second one because they had a lot more of the Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes stuff in there, and then
Yeah, that's all I wanted.
mean-
Honestly, after a while, I'm like, listen, you screwed up the other characters. Just you did pretty good with Snake Eyes. Let me just
Baroness
see
was
Snake
hot.
Eyes.
I mean,
Baroness.
Baroness was hot.
yeah, she was
Yeah.
she was in that more too, but I don't know.
It was more justice to the actual characters in the second one than the first one.
They need to
The first
reboot.
one,
They need a reboot. They need to like just
Well,
scrap it and reboot it and actually like just go like, okay, we're gonna go corny as hell. This is gonna be corny and fun.
Yes.
But we're just gonna like make the characters who they are.
Stop being afraid of your
Yes,
source material.
100%. And if we saw at the end of the last Transformers movie, right, where they're less afraid of the source material in the last Transformers movies, the Bumblebee one and the last one, the Beast one,
Beast. Yeah. Whatever.
yeah, those two movies are kind of like more in line with like the style of the original movie or the original cartoons, like. And at the end, there was the end credit scene where like G.I. Joe was there. My hope is that they're like, going to bring G.I. Joe back, but like kind of do like this regular version of G.I. Joe.
Or we could go get a
Joe.
shitty Transformers suit like we had in that movie, and then like go around and ride other Transformers with that shitty Transformer suit on that looks like a fucking costume party Halloween suit.
But there was actually like there is stuff in the cartoons from the 80s as like paying homage to that. Like
I get it. Just can we get a better budget than
fucking suit that looked like that?
Can we get a better budget than fucking a Halloween party?
That's funny. We earlier, sorry it took me so long to get to this. $2 super chat from Ryu Art said, "Psycho, the Mama Murphy of Xbox showcases. # more jet." Yeah, Psycho is the Nostradamus a little bit sometimes when it comes to showcases because like he gets into this spiritual world, that we know that on another plane of existence, that
access that
you
realm.
have to transcend into once you're on something.
Mm-hmm.
So he can see things from those realms and those planes that us mere mortals that are grounded and not high can't achieve. So he sees things from a little bit of a different angle. Verg Brizzle with the $2 super chat says, "I'm with King David. Kong will fall. Feel it. No PS6. Damn. People.
A lot of people are saying that.
no PS6. We'll
Maybe
see.
I don't. We'll see. In terms of budgets, of like how much they're in debt. Yes, they are $32 billion in debt. Yes, they their games aren't super sustainable, as Jim Ryan and some other executives have been
Who needs
pointing
the
out.
PS6 when you have real life Gran Turismo? You can just drive your car with PlayStation.
They're just gonna
controller.
do the PS5 Pro, then they'll do the PS5 Pro
Yeah.
Pro.
The
But see,
Pro.
this is the thing that's crazy
The Pro.
is that when Jim Ryan was probably speaking bars when he said, "Without Call of Duty, we will not survive." And
Yeah,
we
but
are
a lot of the executives were like.
but
At first, I was like, "Yeah, they're all saying
but
they're
we are
the words or
seeing
whatever."
now they're not getting that $1.9 billion revenue that they got from Call of Duty.
Well, they're still getting revenue.
help
They're still,
fund
they're
this.
still gonna.
They're
sell
getting
it.
revenue, but they're not getting a bigger cut because I guaranteed the whole
Maybe they
crossplay
shouldn't partner with Honda to try to make a fucking car.
Probably not.
with Microsoft, by the way.
And what was that $10 billion deal they just canceled? Anybody do like who was that?
No one. I don't know.
You guys
Oh,
remember that was a 10 bill? Sony just like walked away from like a $10 billion deal.
Yeah,
From
it was.
they were merging with some other company or.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But no one, I haven't seen anybody report on that. I was just like,
No. Why would
is
they?
that no one's gonna talk about it? Like $10 billion, people are just like, yeah. I'm just like, what?
That's like if
Okay.
Microsoft walked away from Bethesda.
People would
And
be talking about that like crazy if
Bungie.
that was Xbox. Yeah. Z in India. Thank you. Thank you.
So
That's just weird.
Nate Dogg says they talked about this before. The Indiana Jones game is going to take place 2 years after Raiders of the Lost Ark. He says, I think they showed that in the first clip and have talked about it. I completely forgot what was in that original clip and announcement thing. So, if that's the case, then
with that Doom call, yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that.
No, like there's the little trailer thing that they had, the little announcement trailer that they had that didn't really show.
Oh, on the map.
Maybe.
Maybe it was on the map. That was on the table.
And Todd talked about it a little bit, so I don't remember what he said. It's been so long now. It's been like 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
So that's the
case. I have to go back and look at that trailer, see if I could find anything. But yeah, we'll see if PlayStation is an app. I mean, this is where the industry is sort of headed, where these different companies are trying to have other places to put their games. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that with Sony's side. It was in their documents that they want to start putting games on PC and things like that. And attribute that to their newer ecosystem. So we'll see if that is a good financial plan for them. I think it is. I think it's a good idea. They're definitely not going to put games on like the Switch or anything, but we'll see.
So okay, I looked up Z. Sorry, I looked up Z Entertainment Enterprise. So Z Entertainment Enterprise is an Indian media conglomerate
headquartered
in Mumbai and is interested in has interest.
What do they do?
Television, print, internet, film, and business related to mobile content, and operates 45 channels worldwide.
Okay.
Why do they want to buy them?
Well, the thing is, this rumor is pointless because they came out today and said, we don't know where this breakup call-off thing happened, so they're still on for it.
Okay, so they're still trying to buy them for $10 billion? Okay.
So who's trying to buy who? What like, okay, so
Sony's trying to buy Z, which is someone mentions like an Indian company. They're trying to merge with entertainment. I didn't know what they did. But I'm like,
media.
You guys are trying to do this when you're $30 billion in debt?
Because I think
another being $40 billion in debt.
How popular is PlayStation in? Because if they have now hands in television, print, internet, films over there, because I mean,
this doesn't
look
sound
at
like
Netflix.
This deal would be motivated at all by anything to do with PlayStation.
This is all
this
Sony.
Is a Sony thing. This is for Sony's film and stuff.
Yeah, this probably has nothing to do with PlayStation, but even then, I'm just
But they do have mobile content, which would also, depending on what mobile content they refer to, if it's apps, maybe that's part of the thing that they are more interested in, to help on the PlayStation side with their mobile aspect.
It said the thing I was reading said that they're trying to acquire them so they can compete with companies like Netflix, Amazon, and Disney Plus.
So it's like stream.
I think it's like an Indian streaming thing.
Okay, so what kind of content do they have?
Probably
those
like
Indian movies that are on Netflix. It's Bangai from Bangladesh.
I mean, there's some really good Indian movies on Netflix. Like, there's that like RRR one that was like crazy.
Oh, that was so good.
They have fucking 2 billion people over there, so it's like,
yeah. I'm just curious. Like, maybe in those markets, I just don't. like so maybe they're trying to create a streaming service and they have content. But I don't know.
It says if the merger goes through, the merger will take on global giants like Netflix, Amazon, Disney Plus, Hotstar, and local incumbents like Joe Cinema.
Hotstar, and that sounds like a porn company.
Interesting. It's worth 10 million.
Are you ready for
Hotstar? Those are probably popular
Yeah.
in India, so they're probably looking at like, okay, like and it's a huge market,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you're talking about a fucking massive market there, so it just seems like it's probably looking at, hey, this is a market we can make a shit ton of money on if we, do this deal there.
They're trying to take over the Asian space.
Yeah, I guess maybe. I don't know. Well, like I think ultimately, like, I don't give a shit about that deal or even want to talk about it because it doesn't fucking matter to me whatsoever. Like, if Sony does it, they do it. I don't really care.
It's like today, fucking Walmart and Microsoft announced that they're partnering up to do like Microsoft's giving them technology to help Walmart to sell shit.
Yeah,
it's
hip
like,
hooray!
okay,
Yeah,
who the
how
fuck
is that
cares?
gonna? Let's have 2 hours about how that's gonna affect Xbox. Is Walmart gonna start pushing Xboxes more now that they have this deal with Microsoft? No, come on. Like, a lot of these things are just like, these are huge fucking businesses and corporations that are doing big deals and stuff. But like,
Somebody might report on
it. We'll say, hey,
I didn't even know about the deal.
Those are for like, those kind of deals are for like the Wall Street journals or like the MSNBCs and like stuff like that, right? Like, not for gaming and movie podcasts. Like,
ding, 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 ding.
But we do have another movie to talk about. It was something that was on Netflix.
And it was supposed to be Star Wars.
And it was, this was Zack Snyder's kind of original take on making a space epic trilogy. We finally got part 1 of Rebel Moon. And this is, you said it was supposed to be Star Wars, like originally this was this.
Yeah, he said it was Star Wars pitch, but Disney said it was too dark and stuff, and they wanted to tone it down. He's like, I don't want to,
so he made it his own thing.
Yeah,
right. So Rebel Moon, I think there was a lot of hype behind this. About a week or so before it hit, there was like the early screenings started showing up, and people were like, "This isn't that." People were like, kind of like, "Oh, this isn't kind of everything we'd hoped it was, or whatever." And so there was a little bit of like, people not getting as excited, and then it just hit Netflix and stuff, and it's like, okay, well, it's there. You're gonna watch it. I think it's like IMDb. It had like a 5 something, which isn't very good. I'm not sure what the Rotten Tomatoes score is. I think it's pretty low and stuff, but it's still, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna watch this and see what it's all about. Like, I like bad things all the time. It's I don't like good
23
things.
On Rotten Tomatoes.
23. So I was gonna give it a chance. Decided to watch it. Before I give my thoughts, I kind of want to go around and get y'all's 3-bit overall impressions from Rebel Moon. Like, Zack Snyder got to make his own trilogy and put it on Netflix. Creative control, everything that we would want Zack Snyder to be able to have was put into this. I don't know if he had the budget that he wanted. I'm not sure what the budget was for this, but what did you think of Rebel Moon Part 1?
Well, first, when I heard about this movie, it was a red flag to hear that Zack Snyder wanted a director's cut. I'm like, bro, you got to learn how to condense movies and things like that. So, which I still stand by. Like, you can't have a director's cut for everything.
I think it's because he's trying to turn this IP into his own thing, because he's also making a game.
Yes. Which I heard about too. But when I was watching the movie, first off, I was having a good time with it. I watched it. Me and my fiance decided to put it on. I will say there was a lot of slow motion in there, almost too much. Where it was like, okay,
yeah, just like random nonsensical ones, like the seeds hitting the fucking the field, right? Like the like
like you have to do it like where it has meaning, like just a
Yeah.
little. Like there's like moments where I'm like, that didn't need to be slow motion. He's just walking.
It's about
know?
seeding.
Just-
It's about seeding growth in this community, and over time, it's going to prosper. You're missing the
Right.
entire meaning of it.
It was like this
I just
dramatic
think he
sound
loves-
effect with the dusting of the seeds
Yeah.
into the. Into
You could
the
tell he
crop.
found that like it is. He found it in his like editing program, and he's like, yes, and he just like use it for every shot.
I
like,
love the way those seeds
Definitely.
hit that field. We need to slow that down.
I'm
going
going to show you my seed in a minute.
So too much slow motion, but overall I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I had a pretty good time with it. It did feel like it did feel rushed, I will say. Looking back at it, like it felt like a recruitment movie. Like, let me get this guy, let me get this guy, let me get this guy, and then they finally get all the people by the end of the movie, and then it had like this clash or whatever. But overall, like I kind of digged it. I had fun with it. I know a lot of people did not like it. Now just know when I think of movies differently than a lot of people. When I go into movies, like I will watch bad movies. Everybody knows that on this panel, and I will enjoy that bad movie or bad TV show just because I feel like I learn a lot from bad movies. I learn a lot from good movies. So I can sit down and enjoy a movie a different way if I have different expectations for this movie. This is not going to be a Christopher Nolan type film. This is not going to be any of that. I was going into it kind of expecting I don't know, just like a cool flick where sci-fi elements. I love sci-fi. I wanted to see Zack Snyder's take on a samurai, the sort of Seven Samurais, which is what this is based off of. Whereas basically in that story it was like the samurais are recruiting to go against a whole army. So it did feel rushed when he was going for the different people, but I don't know. I still had a good time with it. I thought it was like a fun movie. And too much slow motion. And some of the acting was hit or miss, but I still had a good time with it. I'm gonna give it 5
Out of
10.
Oh, you were talking more about like it was like a 7 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could still like rate it like that's average to me. I thought it was
Okay.
average, maybe slightly above average, so it can go to like a 6.
No, it's fine.
Um,
Stick to your guns. Don't let me sway you whatsoever.
Yeah, it can jump because I will add it to possibly 6 because I like the little lightsaber thing. So maybe a 5.6.
The
There you go. It's in the
lightsaber
middle.
thing.
It's like the sword that girl had. It was like a red, red
Oh,
sort
yeah,
of
Oh,
sword
you
yeah,
that
just
yeah,
mean the
glows.
swords that had glowy
Yeah.
bits on
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, those are kind of cool.
That where that she turned them on. I was wondering
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
she didn't do that earlier.
Yeah, it's like her bit.
Like it's like all of a sudden, oh, you mean these can do better than they already are? Or why didn't I do this to
You
start
just
with?
had it in the
instead of-
beginning.
instead of almost get killed before I use it. Oh, that I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, I thought it was average. It's still good. Like people think average is can be bad. But I thought it was okay. It was cool. I liked it.
right on. What about you, Jasper?
So I'm just gonna say this off the rip. Zack Snyder peaked at 300. He's overrated.
Okay.
With all that being said, I liked the movie, but I also was like, it felt like a lot longer than it should be. I like the part that like the
I thought that was
backstory.
pretty short. How long was it? I thought it was.
I don't know, it was like fucking like 2.5 hours, but
Oh,
it felt like it was
was
like
I did take a break,
Was it
so
that
I don't know how long.
I took a
Okay.
break and then came back. Like I watched
Yeah, I
half of
did
it,
too.
fell asleep, and then watched the other half.
I for some reason it felt super short to me. Like maybe it wasn't. Like
Oh.
it just felt short. But yeah, okay, go ahead.
With that being said, I really like the backstory of the main chick. Like I wish that kind of was more of the movie. The whole recruiting thing, like it kind of just started getting old, and then it's like once they got everyone, it's like, oh, and now the movie's we have our final battle and it's over. So I don't know. Like I'm hoping that the second one or the part 2 or whatever, I'm hoping that kind of dives more into the world and stuff.
Are
So,
you invested?
Now we have all the people.
Are you invested into it now? You think?
I'm gonna watch the second one and hope. I have hope that it gets better. So I will watch the second one. I'm interested in the game that's coming out. So I'm interested in the world. The world seems really cool. I want more. I want it to be expanded and see more of the world.
Yeah.
So that's why I was liking the backstory of the main chick and stuff.
You want to see like the mother world, right?
Yeah,
like, and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So overall, it's like
I see the robot. Sorry, I forgot about that robot person.
Yeah, overall, I was like, it's like a 6. Like the only reason it's not lower is because I have hope that we get a little bit more.
That it's going
like,
somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Psycho?
So with this movie, that's the issue with the Zack Snyder movies. You can't shorten them because you get a lot left out. As you could tell with, Zack Snyder's Justice League, being, over 4 hours.
No, he needs to learn how to fucking tell a goddamn movie then.
But he's trying to tell a lot of story in one movie, which he can't. He's like a good,
You should go into TV shows, Psycho.
like a mini series. Like he would be a phenomenal mini series because he could tell his story over multiple episodes. So like a mini series, limited series, phenomenal. Now I love the cinematics of the movie. Love the choreographed fights. I like the visual effects. Everything was about the movie, like that aspect. I liked it a lot. The acting was bad. The chick, I don't know where the fuck he found her.
The main chick or
the main chick? Not. I don't like her. But again, it's like you could tell a lot was because there's things that kind of like, oh, that's how it went. Like, okay, so with the extended version, that's probably another hour and a half, more likely. You'll get a lot of that missing stuff. They'll probably make that movie a lot better. But from what we did see, it will set up the second movie because now all the finding the people, finding all the compadres to fight the dude, I forget his name. The guy that died and came back when they plugged him into the fucking Matrix, and they fucking put him in some kind of like gel orb and then electrocuted him. And so just visual effects, it's a you can't diss the visual effects of them. They're phenomenal. But the acting, a lot of the storytelling was choppy because they condensed his movie. But I think the extended version will make this
If they
a lot
condense it,
better.
it's like a fucking 3-hour movie.
Dude,
he needs. Yeah,
I guarantee there's probably an hour and a half, and that made it would make it a lot more sense would be made with stuff that. Oh, okay, because I'm like that. The stuff that felt off is more likely because something was cut from it. I guarantee it.
Oh, it's only 2 hours 14 minutes. So.
Yeah,
So
for some reason I felt like it was short, but like I saw that it's 2 hours and 13 minutes, and like.
But it's a Zack Snyder movie, so technically, yeah, it is short for 2 hours and 14 minutes. But
right, I think it's because the amount of story that was told in that time wasn't, what I mean.
Also, I feel like the bad guy was like not the main bad guy, but the recruited bad guy that kind of turned on.
Yeah,
like, that was so obvious. Is like, okay.
That was obvious to you? Yeah.
That wasn't obvious to me. I had no idea.
I was a little sus of him at first, but then he grew on me. I was like, okay, he's gonna be fine. But
Jasper's always been like he always like figures out.
Yeah,
because he's
I had no idea.
That's why he's becoming a fucking space ranger. All right.
Yeah, like that, and the other guy that was supposed to be the Darth Vader guy. That dude does not have an intimidating bone in his body.
Yeah,
the
guy was like
her dad.
No,
the with the cane.
The king, he walks and he basically is in that thing where the guy, when he dies in the little tube, and then the other guy appears and he's like, what was your
the
dad?
father.
Go back.
No, it's
that was her.
That's her
You're
dad.
talking about the guy that just like hits people in the head with a cane all the time.
No, that's the guy.
No, he was okay.
That guy was brought
I'm
back.
talking about the other guy that was
her dad.
Supposed to be the main big bad guy. That was her father.
That's her dad. Yeah, that's what his.
I think I forgot. Oh yeah, because he trained her.
He killed her planet or whatever, and then took and kidnapped her.
Yeah, I forgot about that. He was not intimidating at all.
The only time I saw him like really at the end of this movie was in
he materialized them from wherever he was to this realm or dimension that he was in. I mean,
it's like it starts with a B. It's like Balthazar or something about
such a baby face too.
Yeah, but the second movie I think will set up everything.
I kind of saw this movie as the villain is actually the guy that's just the dick that smacks people around with the cane. You know what I mean? Like, that hits people in the face with his stick. But he ended up being a little bitch because he got his ass just absolutely handed to him.
And then they fucking brought him back. It's like, you could have just left that fucker dead. It's like, no, now we got to just fight him again.
Like, he'll be stronger this time, probably.
Oh, yeah.
They jacked him in the Matrix. They downloaded.
I'm sure that it's going to be not going to be a happy ending where the girl wins again. Like,
now he knows to just so
he can be as strong as he fucking wants. The chick's always going to win.
Yeah. Maybe this will take some interesting turns with Zack Snyder. He gets to do whatever the hell he wants. Maybe the robot will be the hero at the end of the day.
I want to see that robot fight.
And so there's interesting things here, right? Like, there was a complete left things open for the future movies, storylines that were untouched from the beginning of this movie. The kid and the robot that stayed behind to defend the girl, right? That got separated from the big bad army. They were good now, but they ran off, and as we saw at the end of this movie, the robot's wearing fucking antlers now for some reason. Who knows why? They are. There's them. I think they're going to play a role later on, obviously. You have this whole squad of people that were recruited now, but then you also have the sister of the other guy that died, the assassin brother and sister team that had the army with them.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah. Like, now she's going to be pissed because her brother was killed, right? So you're going to have all this stuff, and like, I feel like they're setting up all these plot lines that actually have some value, right? But like, we didn't get a lot because it was part one. It felt unfinished, and that's probably the biggest problem with the movie.
Yeah,
is because it's planned as like a 3-part thing with all these, like, sometimes great trilogies like stand among their own, telling a complete story, and then like the second one picks up and tells a new complete story where that one left off. But like, this one, like, intentionally was left with a lot of open storylines, right? So that was kind of like a little bit of a detriment, like unsatisfying, right? The benefit also is that we don't have to wait that long for the next one.
Yeah, the next one's like April, I think.
Yeah, we don't have to wait that long. And I think at the end of the day, what we're going to end up having after like a year or so is like this trilogy that you watch in sequence, like as like a 3-part episodic type saga, right? And overall, my biggest issue with this movie was the writing was shit.
Yes.
Like, the writing,
it wasn't very good writing.
Like, the script, like for the characters, just the writing was just absolute trash, right?
But wasn't this during? This was during.
I love the cinematography.
The writer's strike, right?
At least
the writer's strike. This was during the writer's strike, correct?
I don't know. Was it? I don't know when they wrote the story.
It doesn't matter. The cinematography was incredible, though, I will say. Yeah. I know there's a lot of slow motion and stuff like that, but the angles and the
well, that's Zack Snyder's biggest.
Yeah, that's Zack Snyder's.
I will say he killed it in that department, which almost made me raise the score more. But but yeah, the writing was
the writing, and it stood out to me when I was watching. I was like, my God, like this writing is really bad. And usually that doesn't stand out during a movie. It's like, okay. But like when it stands
that's
out,
why I thought the best part of it, I thought was like when she was telling her backstory of like how like she was kidnapped and stuff. I was like, that's actual cool.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
But it was like the whole interaction
it's
within some of the characters. I was like,
does this make sense that there's a good story, but the script is ass?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No, yeah, 100%.
Like it's like, and it could come across as bad acting when you have a bad script. I feel like because like you're having to say lines that are like shitty and dull and stuff. Not all the lines are bad, but like it's just like a lot of the writing was just kind of blah blah blah, right? But the story arc, I like the world. I like the whole aspect of the story that they're creating. I just wish like the lines of the characters were better. But then at the same time, just like I like the overall story, I love the characters. Yeah. Like that's my favorite. Yeah. Favorite thing is the characters, like themselves. Like you have the team that they built. I feel like they got this eclectic group of really cool different characters together that are pretty badass, like in their own right. And I want to see them more. I felt like Digimon Hansu's character, we didn't really get to learn much about him at all.
Is that the guy that rode the bird, or is
no? That was the guy that used to be a general, and he was like,
oh yeah, okay,
yeah, and they just basically hyped him up to come back.
And then he did nothing.
Like, no, leave me alone. Yeah. Then he did so there's so much there, but like I like the character that he's trying to portray, but like I don't know what's going on there yet.
That's where I'm like a lot of those that's where I said it felt rushed, because a lot of those characters you didn't get a lot of time with, which I guess it was weird. It felt like a longer movie, but I guess it wasn't.
It was.
But
it's got
cut. I mean 2 hours 16.
The director's but that's what I'm saying. Coming out.
He can't keep relying on director's cuts to tell his story.
Yes, he can.
Nah,
he's Zack
no,
Snyder.
He can't.
He can do whatever he wants. 3-bit.
Listen, no, he can't. He can't. You have to learn how to tell a very good story in a short amount of time. That's what makes a good director. That's
you know what you could have cut out? The whole fucking 5 minutes of riding a stupid ass bird through a fucking canyon.
Or if you want more time, if you want more time, don't slow
more
the
slow motion
camera down for the fucking seeds going into the soil. Okay, we don't need to see that for 10 seconds. It's fine. I get the point. She just throws the seeds.
Yeah. I got a question for all you guys. Who else? Do you remember the young lady, the water girl that was in the movie?
The one that almost got assaulted?
Yeah.
Yes. Did anyone else get that she's the fucking princess?
I don't think she was, but I think she.
Oh.
I got she's the princess.
She's a princess?
No, I'm saying that, like, I got the vibe that she is the princess where everyone thought she's dead.
Oh, like she didn't assassinate her. She brought her there.
Correct. So she took her there and has been in secret.
But the rebel, like the main rebel moon chick, showed up after. Like she came to the village just a few months ago or whatever when the movie started. She was like there for the main chick that was fighting. She was only there for.
She could have handed her off like Luke did, and then came as she was getting older.
That would be a twist. I honestly didn't.
Interesting thought.
Because that's what I got. Just because how they focused on her.
Did they show who?
And she's just a lonely water girl. Why are you putting that much screen time on the girl with the water?
I think it's I think it's to show like she's innocent, like and stuff, and then like the bad guys are gonna like try to do stuff to her, like so.
And Zack Snyder does that.
Bad.
And then they had the whole touching moment with the robot, and he touched her, and he lit up, and he realized something, and then where'd he go?
Oh yeah,
After he saved her. Where'd he go after he saved her?
But like, there's certain things like
saying
you would think you would think that the robot would have recognized her.
That's why he
Also,
possibly ran
did
off.
she have parents there?
No, the parents were the
Maybe
king
she
and
was
queen that died.
reincarnated.
Well, like who are her parents when she like?
In the
But
village.
no one. No, that's the thing. They could have
And
been keeping the secret.
And she did say like the princess is not dead, she's within you or whatever she said to the robot. So it could be. It
Who
could
knows?
be.
It's an interesting theory. What do I call it's a good fan theory. We'll have to wait and see for sure.
The robot. This is not R2D2 Lanzo 86.
Eastside Vandal said, "You liked the Flash and say Rebel Moon's writing is bad." What I didn't like.
Yeah.
I said that Ezra Miller killed the Flash movie. Like I thought the Flash movie had potential. Like it could have been a great movie, but Ezra Miller's crappy way about being a goofy ass motherfucker just completely killed the entire movie. And I felt like there was good stuff there that was just ruined from
Should have just got Grant.
from the person on the screen who was taking up 90% of the time. Right?
That movie.
And this had
it.
nothing to do with any of the stuff going on behind the scenes or the stuff that he went through or like that he did or all that stuff. It was just the way he portrays the character is this goofball, dumbass, like clumsy.
They
Like
ruined that
that's
movie.
not
They had
what I wanted to watch when I watched The Flash. You know,
they had the Paradox fucking whole fucking story arc right there at the palm of their hand, and they went with.
I felt like the movie, like if the line, like I felt like overall it had a good story to it.
It tried ambitious things, and this is like the Flash tried things that normal writers wouldn't do just because like it's a hard story to write. Anything dealing with time travel, it's very hard to write.
I think the Flash movie actually had good writing. I just feel like Ezra Miller killed it. Like you can have an actor fuck up the movie, like, and I think that's what happened.
I think he killed it, and the CGI was so bad it took me out of the movie. There was moments where the CGI was really good, which was confusing. The CGI was like really good in some places, and then just really like cheap in more places.
They had to hurry up and finish.
It was
finish the movie because WB is like, we can't fund this no more, guys.
Like Henry Cavill and all these other actors like look like PS3 video game where they're just like this and that.
Yeah,
and that.
There was some really bad CG.
That was bad, but it did. Here's the thing: like with the Flash, I'm pretty fair with the Flash. Like it, in terms of what it tried to do, the ambition. I like to praise people for ambition because a lot of movies play it safe, and that can get kind of boring sometimes. So in terms of the Flash, it did try a lot of cool ideas and things like that like a lot of people again wouldn't attempt, but the actor, like I agree with Mav, the main actor was kind of no.
It was just like he was just distractingly bad, you know.
He was distracting. I didn't like everyone around him was like way more appealing than him. So that's not a good sign for the main movies called The Flash, not Supergirl or the Batmans and stuff like that. So that wasn't good. The writing, I honestly can't remember the writing. I can't tell you if it was bad. I'll have to rewatch it. I can't remember the lines or how they delivered or because I was just having a decent time watching it or whatever. I was like, oh, okay, interesting. I can't remember what the writing was like.
Yeah, the only good parts of the Flash movie were the parts that didn't have the Flash. And that's
yeah.
So
yeah, it's an interesting movie. I started watching it again the other day, like with Kate.
I'm sorry
to see if she would be interested in it or like it or whatever. And it's like there were certain things I was taking away from it. It's like, okay, I like this about it, I don't like this about it, and it was it's just like the writing is actually something that I thought could have been delivered really way better, and I think it would have stood out a little bit better if it was delivered differently.
Was it worse or better the second? Because usually when I watch a movie second time, there's a lot more I take from it. Like you're saying, was it worse or better?
Because as much as Ezra Miller annoyed me the first time, watching them a second time do
Nah.
the same thing is just even more annoying, right?
Yeah.
It's just you can't watch like one of your favorite superheroes be a dumbass goofball. Like it's just hard. Like Flash was
Like-
my growing up. Like you didn't get like Flash movies too much or anything. Flash show.
TV
Like there
show.
was a show that way back in the day that was
Yeah.
okay, right? But like it was really low budget and stuff, and like but I loved the character of the Flash. Anytime the Flash was when I was a kid, like if I did grab a comic book or something, like at the grocery store or wherever, if they had something Flash, that's what I always gravitated to, right? And then like cartoons later when the Flash was in, I was like, yes, like Flash was always my favorite take on a superhero, right? And then like the Flash show, I thought they did a pretty good job. This new one with Grant Gustin, I kind of liked some of the stuff they did. Now it's kind of corny.
He's
it's
a
low.
great
Yeah, the
Flash.
first season, the first 2 seasons are all right, and then it's
Yeah.
like, okay, this is enough.
That's
But
and
he's
CW
a fan
stuff and, you know,
Flash.
Yeah,
Like he's surrounded by CW, but him he's a great Flash. Like especially like the emotional scenes, like he can hit those cues way better
they
than
do
Ezra
some
Miller.
really cool
Everything
stuff
great.
in the show with some of the villains and the characters and stuff. Some of the things they do.
I
there.
love this show.
And
I'm
like,
a fan of it.
And I like the whole like Barry Allen and Iris West storyline going on there and stuff, and like so. But when I saw who they had casted originally for the Flash, I was like, okay, that's gonna be interesting. Not really what I would consider the Flash, but you know, I saw the Justice League movie the first time, and I saw it, and I was like, yeah, that was disappointing. The Flash is a dumbass goofball. That's not what I want for the Flash. I want somebody that's like kind of at least with it, like because like the character, he's like smart, right? He's smart. He's very motivated, but based on the history of his dad and stuff like that, right? Very motivated and like, yeah, he doesn't always get things right and stuff like that. He's not perfect, but like that's the character is not this goofball, dumbass, like clumsy motherfucker, right?
You know what I heard, man?
What?
That Ezra Miller is going to be Gambit.
Dude. So I don't know if that happens. I would fucking flip out, bro.
Matt's gonna have a fucking rage tweet.
I may have to get offline for like a month if it's something like that.
I just want to see your face.
So,
sorry, go ahead.
The Justice League movie was like, okay, you know, like I didn't like him as a Flash, but like it is what the Snyder cut had a little bit of a redeeming moment there because he ended up the end sequence like, okay, is this going to mean something? Is like this character going to turn around? Is he going to become like a true type hero type, right? Because in the Snyder cut, they kind of developed the character a little bit better towards the end, you know?
Yeah, that was sick. I liked it in Justice League where he was like running and he had an important role.
That was an amazing scene.
That
too.
was
a fucking sick ass scene, right? And I can't believe that got cut from the original movie. Like, how are you going to cut that? That was like the best scene in the movie, in my opinion.
That was so cool.
But then when this movie came out, I was having hope, right? And then I watched it, and story could have been cool and stuff, but just watching the dumbass play the dumbass version of the Flash, clumsy motherfucker. But then to make it even worse, you have an even clumsier, more dumbass version for of the same character for the majority of the movie as well, and them just interacting dumbass Flash to dumbass Flash interacting back and forth, like it's just fucking ruined it. Like because the way the character was portrayed is just fucking flat out wrong. Like
hopefully they can fix it by getting like old man Flash to come back from the past so you can have a different actor.
Just from a fundamental level. And the only way that you can fix that is not have that guy play the Flash.
Yeah. Get Grant Gustin. Like this dude loves the Flash character. Let him play in the movies. He's ready.
Yeah. So anyway, that killed it for me. But besides that, like I think the movie could have had potential if with everything going on with it, if it was done in a more serious way. Like, yeah. But anyway.
Psycho, what was Psycho's rating for Rebel Moon? What do you give it, Psycho?
I liked it. I gave it a 7.
A 7. Okay.
Yeah, because everything else about it, I liked, and it's just. But the thing that I did not like was the writing with some of the characters, the lack of screen time for some. But again, there's a director's cut, so a lot of stuff that I had issues with could be filled and addressed, and but it's still, the writing was phenomenal. Some of these characters, it was just like, I'm like, ooh.
That spider, I will say, like, just thinking about it, because when we were talking about it, it was reminding me of certain scenes. That
Like that scene was a
spider,
letdown.
you didn't like the spider thing?
I feel like
I love that
It was
scene.
so cool, like seeing it and stuff. But then it was just like, oh, and it's dead. It's like it was like 30 seconds of fighting, if that is like. This was so
thought
like
it
over
needed
high.
more
It was
time.
like almost like it needed more time or something. I don't know. It was just like
I
think
I liked it.
that
I
was-
thought it was cool.
I liked it. I think it was just how he portrayed like her skill set against something like
Mhm.
this. But did you watch like the how to when they did that with the fighting scene 3-bit?
No.
Yeah, so they Twitter, they had like behind the scenes, and it was like people had like these like pool noodles like attacking her with like
A
the
pool
legs.
noodle?
Yeah. So like she was literally fending off people that were all the arms were different people, and she literally was fending that off.
Oh, that's
that
a smart way
scene.
to do it. I'm guessing they
Yeah.
were.
They
Was she
used
on a
practical-
green? Were they green or whatever?
Yes. It was a green.
like-
But it was practical.
I almost feel like they should have kept the spider thing alive and like not fought it. Like keep her as like an under like a mob boss, like it's kind of under that city that like rules that city, like a dark underground, instead of just like killing that, because like she could be such like a cool like character in the overall
Story.
world. Yeah.
It's kind of like Darth Maul, you know.
Yeah, she was the one thing I took from that movie. Like, it made me think about her backstory and kind of what she was going through in a way. Yeah, they probably shouldn't have killed her off, but maybe there's other little spider girl things like
Yeah.
her.
Well, that's the thing. There's not, because that's what she was kidnapping human kids.
Like,
Oh yeah.
so overall, like with the Rebel Moon, like I thought the writing was bad. I thought the characters are cool,
Yeah.
and have good characters, and a good overall like story type world that they're creating, and I like where it's going and stuff. Like, so bottom line is it did its job, and I'm invested into it, right? But I did like expect it to be better. Like I wish like the writing was better, mainly like it's just so like I don't know. There's not a lot of meaning.
I feel like
to the writing and stuff.
they have a lot of time spent in world building and stuff,
Right?
and not necessarily
It's just the script
actually
of the
how
line.
to tell that story.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a script of like the lines from that the actors are given to read and stuff, and it's like those are like what is kind of like simplistic.
This movie was definitely the setup.
Yeah,
Like the setup, the movie, because they're setting up for the second, for sure.
I thought the robot had good lines, like Anthony Hopkins character and like that and the girl, like and that was good. You know, there's certain moments where it stands out as being better than others. You know, but
Yeah, I will give Zach some credit. Where, well, first off, Anthony Hopkins, anything he reads makes it freaking sound amazing.
yeah, it's true.
He just has such a cool voice. But I think I will give Zach credit in the realm where, like, even if some of the writing wasn't necessarily like some of the lines someone says might be come off as cheesy or whatever. I'm also in the camp where I'm interested seeing where it's going, because this movie did feel like the setup, the movie, just because it was setting up all the characters, and then it was the little battle at the end. I want to know a little bit more about who these characters are, a little bit about the Empire, in the background and stuff like that.
Yeah,
We got a little
so
bit of the
much there
backstory,
that's
but
unexplored with that stuff, man. Like,
yeah. So I am interested, and that was cool that he managed for it sounds like from all of us, all of our sort of feedback that we liked. We see a lot of good in just sort of a kind of messy-ish, quick or rush story.
Yeah.
Like we see good in the characters, we see good in the cinematography, the VFX. I think it just felt rushed, in a lot of different areas, which makes it feel, not put together. But
It feels like sometimes you watch a great show, but the first episode has a lot of world building stuff and explaining
yeah, you're like,
things
yeah,
and all that kind of
right,
stuff. And it's
yeah,
like, and that kind of always makes the first episode a little bit like mundane, a little bit. And you see this with a lot of shows, like, and you with the way the writing is in a lot of first episodes of shows, it's like clearly words and phrases that are used just to give you backstory, and it's like extremely obvious, right?
mhm.
Like, yeah, my dad is over there. You know what I mean? Like when it's like, hey, so just like random sentences that don't need to be like in things. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, okay, so we know who's the relation. They're trying to explain the relationships. They're trying to explain the history, and it's a lot to do in a movie like this, right? There's a lot of explaining to do. So I felt like a lot of the movie was a lot of explaining things, and like for a first episode that worked, it's fine, right? But
It
then
almost like they should create like little
second,
short films before the movie that kind
right?
of like like
Yeah,
backstories, like
because like at times that can kind of ruin the story that you're trying to tell
yeah.
from here because you're telling so much backstory, right? But like I feel like now that that's done, hopefully, and we got way more backstory to be told because we have to figure out what happened with the slaying of the former king and queen or whatever and all that stuff. But like I feel like this is going to be something that grows into something better and better as we watch it, right?
Yeah, I think
Um,
so.
First episodes often are just marred from that stuff on shows. Like just it absolutely can kind of kill them, and then by the second or third episode, sometimes those shows get great. And this feels like episodic, right? Like this is being told because of the open-ended, unclosed plot lines, like a show.
Yeah,
So
he
we
should
got
do
the
more
first.
TV shows.
We got a 2 hour and 13-minute first episode of a 3-part show. Is the way I'm looking at it, right?
Right.
And maybe at the end of the day, it'll be an amazing thing. But what if he would have told this in a 6-episode show instead of a 3-part movie?
Again, like you can't just keep blaming things on directors cuts. I understand what we're all saying and stuff like that. Like, hey, it was rushed
Honestly, I
and stuff
don't
like
know if a
that.
director's
But
cuts ever changed my opinion on anything. Like, because I feel like a lot of the stuff they add is
Justice
just
League did for
like a
me.
lot of stuff they add is just like 30-second little snippets that are like, oh, okay. It's like I don't.
Well, except for a Zack Snyder cut.
Like the Justice League was the first time like where a director's cut actually changed my opinion, because Justice League I thought was hot trash, like a terrible, awful movie. I did not like it like at all. When I watched the director's cut, I was like, wow, a lot of those scenes actually gave substance to these characters. Like the Flash, for example, everybody had like a moment. Like even Cyborg, like he had his moment. Where you could see like his backstory, a lot more of his backstory and stuff like that. The Flash had a moment towards the end, like you don't get that in the movie, where because Justice League was supposed to feel like a team, and they all have their individual things that makes them important. You don't get that in the movie, but in the director's cut, it's like you do. So it was like weird that they cut out certain scenes, and that's where Zack Snyder, he really needs to figure out as a director or whatever to learn how to condense those stories, because you can still have the Flash have his moment. You could still have Wonder Woman and Batman and all these people have their moment just in a condensed thing. You just have to figure out what is important in your story and what isn't important. That's something we have to learn in like film school and stuff like that. Like the most important part of your story and
So you're
what is
telling
it
Zack
take
Snyder
out.
needs to go to film school?
I feel like yes, a little bit, a little bit. Just like I'm not making $1 million movies or whatever, but if you keep chalking up things to director, oh, just watch my director's cut. There's something he needs to learn in condensing stories,
Yeah.
or he
Just put
could
the
do
fucking director's
TV
cut
shows,
out.
or just do that in the very beginning, right? That would solve all this. Or if he went into and just did TV shows, then that would solve it too, because TV shows are longer, condensed version of stories, and that's where I feel like he can do very well in, because
Also,
he
it's
likes
like
telling those type of
you're
stories.
you're putting your movie out on a streaming service. It's not like you have to condense your movie like you used to back in the day to put it on a film or
Yeah.
something. Like you can have the
You can
movie as
have
long
a
as you fucking
4-hour
want.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
literally, they do that now quite a bit. So I wish you would have just done like, instead of having director's cuts, just have your cut of the movie, because
Yeah.
that's what it should be, you know. But it is what it is. This will give them a more opportunity to release different things and get traction. Maybe that was part of the original agreement from Netflix or whatever as well. Like, but can we get a Snyder cut? Because Snyder cuts are always hot in demand. So can you just do it twice? But yeah, fun discussions though, guys. Yeah. Overall, looking forward to the second part. We'll see where it goes. First part, a little bit, somewhat of a letdown, but still also got us intrigued. So, that's what they needed to do. So, but yeah, chat's been absolutely amazing today. I see Elijah Vasquez was in the chat.
He was in the past.
Yeah, he was like way in the past, like at the beginning of the show, saying how am I going to say I heard something and not say the source though? So, explaining, I guess you're talking
What was
about
this?
the Gears collection thing,
Yeah.
right? So let me be
Oh,
clear on that. I am not an insider whatsoever, right?
Heard it here first. He's an insider.
Yeah, no. The I don't know any fucking thing whatsoever, right? I'm not trying to say that I do. Secondly, the person that I'm referring to that I don't want to say who they are is not an insider either. But they have heard things from somebody that's told them things that have come true, right? So, and because this person is not like really an insider putting it out there, and asked me not to say anything, I'm not going to say their name, right? But I just want to say that when we were talking about the Gears collection, like, it's just the confidence that they have that their source that told them this is true has me confident in it. And it's not saying that it's going to happen 100% or whatever, but like knowing them, seeing how confident they are gives me confidence and believes that it's true, right? Because I don't feel like they would be that confident in it based on their track record and history of me knowing them, unless it was accurate. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's
makes sense to me.
yeah. I'm not like trying,
And I was
and they could be
Yeah, right.
wrong 100%. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know a damn thing. I'm like not an insider. I don't have anybody sending me DMs, inside information, any of that kind of shit. All I know is from people that I talk to that sometimes these other people have heard things, but I know that sometimes I knew the Dev Direct thing was supposed to get announced today, right? And that was because of the same person.
I mean, that was
Right.
also going around from a lot of people.
Yeah, they were like
last night,
100% and
yeah.
actually showed me like something. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's reasons to think that it's real just because of the confidence there, but like I'm not going to put the name out there because it's like I don't want to put something out there where they're not trying to put it out there, because it's like, they're not
Yeah.
trying to do that, and if they ask me to, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah,
But
so
it is what it is.
It basically, I forgot how that conversation used to start. I think I was basically saying Nick. I don't really trust Nick's
Yeah.
sources, but it ripples until like other people that we kind of trust that said it. So okay, I was like, okay, that'd be kind of cool if we could see a Gears collection. I feel like Halo is sort of the top of that, where like that's how you do collections. Not necessarily at launch right now, but Halo MCC is great right now. So I would be looking forward to a Gears collection in the future. And Poison, I'm in a way, yes, I am an insider, but not anymore. Okay, I'm in a different field now. I'm in the commercial side of things. I did work on the last Dev Direct. I did like some of the graphics that it seems like they're still using some for the videos and the intro and stuff like that. Seeing Hi-Fi Rush and stuff like that, I didn't know it would be as big as it is now. And I was on that side, but not anymore.
Yeah.
So I had no idea Indiana Jones would be here. That was all Psycho. You know, so
yeah. So in the past, you knew things because you were you knew things from obviously because you worked on stuff, right? That we had to keep secret, right? Like if there's something that like is something from like an insider thing or whatever, it is somebody that has some.
We're not going to be like, oh, this person told us, like, because then you just kind of cut that bridge and then you get them in trouble too, and then they could lose their job or whatever. So it's like you're not going to just
and you never know what comes true.
Are we allowed to say some of the stuff that we knew about way back then? Now 3-bit, is it too like?
I think it depends on what.
It depends on what it is, but like
I'll say okay. So if it's like Ubisoft oriented stuff,
sure, screw Ubisoft.
Okay, so like a long time ago, like we would do some teases on Twitter and stuff about Splinter Cell, right? And that was because you had potential knowings of stuff going on there, right? So like since then, like we've gotten the Splinter Cell reboot. Like you can go back and timeline and like
these are way before it happened.
So like we knew there were potentially doing a Splinter Cell, right? And then but we did teases about potential storyline and plot stuff that we thought would be funny or interesting, and then they literally came out with a book that matched our fucking storyline. Like we made this thing up on was it on Xbox Ultimate or whatever? We like laid out, and
I think it was Ultimate.
We were doing this knowing that there was a Splinter Cell game, but acting like we didn't know there was going to be a Splinter Cell game, right? We knew that there was going to be a Splinter Cell game, but we were acting like we didn't know there was, and we were trying to lay out suggestions for a plot line. And
did a pretty slick, might I say?
Yeah, we did a great job. But then later on, there was a book that came out that matched the fucking plot lines that we were saying on the show. It was fucking nuts. So that book dropped, and we're like, oh my god, like what the hell is going on? And this
I know my coworkers at UB do watch our shows, but they have nothing to do with writing or anything.
Yeah, it was
crazy.
All about Sarah Fisher and like saving like that whole thing. Like you can go back and look at like Twitter and like I have tweets where I just
I don't know when that was,
where I just say Sarah, right? Like that's it, because we expected there to be a Splinter Cell announcement happening, right? But there wasn't. But then later we got the blog post. So there was that, and then the other thing, 3-bit, that we found out that early on was that Ubisoft was making a Star Wars game.
Yep.
And you made me guess on that one.
I did.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what they're doing with it now, or what they're doing at all now.
Yeah. But that stuff was so long ago, and we didn't tell a damn person like at all, guys. So like if we actually know something, or like 3-bit tells us something in confidence, like I'm not gonna say anything like whatsoever, right? But like if
you have my blessing now, because whatever.
If other people in the community like come to us or like say something that they're confident in, and hey, like I'm gonna say like, hey, I talk to people that seem like they're confident in this, but I'm gonna tell you who they are or what they are. I don't know who their source is. Like I have no fucking clue, right? But it's interesting doing this, like hearing things and stuff, and you know things that we still don't know, and I know you fucking do, because of some of your friends, in the game development
I know
community,
something,
right? So, but like, it's fine, right?
And it's interesting being in this podcasting world too, because like we can be more privy to information. I know I'm on the other side, right, where I'm in the development side and stuff like that. But it is interesting in our industry where we're doing shows and stuff.
It's
and
interesting
how it can come across it.
in the podcasting stuff because like it was, especially when you're doing guests and doing things on other people's shows a lot, and like behind the scenes, like before after shows, you hear so much stuff, dude.
Yeah.
You hear
The stuff that
you
no
hear-
one in the chat probably sees.
you hear
No.
so
No.
much shit, and sometimes it is bullshit, right? Like, and
Yeah.
and there's been so much stuff that we've heard, like guessing on other shows and stuff before and after from people that are like 100% confident. I mean, they will like look you in the camera and they'll be like, "This is happening. I can't believe what I just saw. This happened at this event, and I talked to this person, or this happened this way." And like it's like, holy cow, and we're all freaking out. And sometimes that's how some of these things spread, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you kind of got to know the person that you're
You have
talking
to like
and-
gauge whether or not we can even talk about it, and we'll be in the green room like, "Hey, this camera's coming out," and then we're during the show we're like, "Do we bring this up or
Yeah.
do we just?"
Yeah, I don't know what's coming
We're
out.
talking about something, and it's like, oh my god, that's so spicy. And then Mav's like 5, 4.
We're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
shit." Which a lot of people don't get that side of it. It's interesting talk because a lot of the people in the chat, like, you guys are awesome and you guys are with us like almost every single show. Like Poison, I see you all the time. Dude, Yobi, you're back, and it's good to see you, man. But a lot of what people don't see is before our shows, or we're talking to chat, all the different leaks we will get. Like people will send either to us, or we find out, or our green room conversations before we go live. We figure out, whether or not what we want to talk about. It's definitely interesting.
Yeah, like you got to see Starfield.
Yeah,
like,
very early.
Early on, like, I mean, like there's certain things like, but we can't talk about it.
Say,
Like,
Yeah,
can't say shit.
I played Starfield very early. With it was like through a stream thing, so it was kind of delayed a little bit. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the same way I played the latest Age of Empires 2 DLC.
Oh, really?
That came out last year. Yeah, I had to play it through like some website stream thing, and they had to like monitor you, and like then you had to like fill out some shit.
yes,
Yeah.
Jasper
Yeah.
actually got to do that last year. You knew about the age expansion before anybody did here. Like, so there's interesting things, but like sometimes we hear these things, and like I'll say that like the person that's telling this information to you, right? Like, because we hear it sometimes, and it's like, okay, is this another one of those things? But like you learn the people, right? And how confident they are in certain things and not. And I'll just say that there's more than one person that seemed like crazy ultra confident that the Gears thing is real. Like to a point to where it's like they have to know something, like, to be that confident. Like I just, it's like to say the things that say and to have the confidence in it. When somebody either knows something or they don't. You know what I mean? And it seems like some of the people that have mentioned the Gears thing know, right? So that's all I know, is that I've talked to other people that seem confident, but they're not the source. They have another source, so I don't fucking know. But I believe it's real because I believe the person I talked to says they believe it's 100% fact. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk about who your source is in the green room.
Yeah, I don't have a source. This is not a source.
We'll exchange sources and then see.
Like, on the FunPop episode, Mav said he confirmed that
Yeah,
they
no,
like,
I
we
don't have any source. I don't have any insider information at all on
Idle
Gears
Sloth. Don't post this
or anything else. Like, I don't have people coming to me whatsoever giving me any inside information. The only inside anything I have ever known is probably from 3-bit or stuff that's told to me behind the scenes in other podcasting green rooms, like where before we go live or after. Like, and sometimes stuff is spread around from person to person to person. Sometimes it's full of shit. Sometimes it's not. Right. But it's just interesting, like having that with podcasting. Like it's, I never really thought like we would know things or whatever, but
Yeah, you never thought we get to
Damn,
that stage,
Yobi.
And Yobi talking about Jasper taking on IGN.
Yeah.
That was funny, man. But it just it really does expose that side of the industry. I think IGN is built with frauds. But I digress.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of the Nate thing, we'll see what that ends up being. Everything is rumor at this point. The way, like my mindset earlier today, I was telling everybody in our chat that like, yeah, I'm just chalking everything up to rumor at this point.
Yeah, I don't know who this Nate guy is to really take it credible.
No idea.
Just the way the rumors have kind of sprouted up, how Jeff Grubb was kind of reciting a source. He the way he was reciting Sea of Thieves, it was like based off of an older rumor that happened a while ago, and people are bringing it up as if it was combined with Hi-Fi Rush. Like this stuff of how it's like kind of piling on. Like, look, it's Sea of Thieves, it's Hi-Fi. It isn't. It doesn't feel genuine at this moment.
No.
So what I am going to do is I'm just chalking all that stuff up to rumor. And it doesn't, I don't feel it's accurate. I said that in my very first post when this stuff came out. I was like, this doesn't seem legit. So all we can do is really wait. I mean, if Xbox does it, do it at this point. I don't think it fits there. I don't think it fits necessarily what I think they're doing, but hey, maybe I'm wrong. So we could just chalk it up to rumor. We'll see what they do. I don't think it's legit though, but that's just my thing. But time will tell, right? Time tells everything.
Yeah, we'll find out. But anyway,
yeah,
it's an interesting conversation. We'll see what they have in store at the Dev Direct, and ultimately what's going on behind the scenes with a lot of that stuff. And I can't wait to see next Thursday, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So everybody, it's been real. It's been a fun show. Thanks for tuning in to FunPop episode 68. So let's get everybody out of here. 3-Bit, tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Everyone can find me on Twitter at i3bit. I'm doing some cool show stuff behind the scenes. It's coming, I promise you. And I've been trying to post more of my own work. So I posted like my portfolio thing today with different commercials I worked on and things like that. So just keep on the lookout on my Twitter. You can always find me on this show and FSP on Mondays. Other than that, I will see you guys on the next show. Love you guys in chat. I see you guys literally everywhere. It's kind of crazy. You guys are I'm always in our chats, and I always appreciate it. You guys make me want to do these shows and stuff like that. And of course, everybody here on the panel. So see you guys on the next one. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thanks, 3-Bit. Jasper, what about you, sir?
Yeah, yo, check it out. Lord Jasper, Twitter, Lord Master Jasper, YouTube, all that fun stuff. Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, 10 o'clock right here. Fun Speculation Network with FSP, FunPop, and Xbox Ultimate. That's where I'm at. That's what I do. Check it out. Have fun.
Right on, bro. I appreciate you. And Psychonauts, tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Chat, you guys were phenomenal. I think tonight was the largest FunPop chat that we've had, I think ever. So thank you everyone for coming out and listening to our takes on some great content. So if you find me on social media everywhere, Psychonauts 8, you can find me Mondays, FSP at 10, Tuesdays as always with FunPop at 10, and Friday, Xbox Ultimate, 10 o'clock as well. And thank you.
Yeah, right on, bro. Appreciate you. And chat, again, you rock. I'll see y'all on Thursday for PM in the PM at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with Pong, Soul, and I, and oh boy, we have a lot to talk about. And then Friday's Xbox Ultimate, then back next week FSP, and then FunPop should be back to regular schedule for the foreseeable future, unless real life happens and something needs to get delayed or whatever. But I'm just glad to be back. Thanks everybody for being patient for the kind of week off that we took. Felt like 3 months. It was only a week, but it is what it is. Some of our shows have been, 3 weeks.
Because it was
so,
PM and PM for the 2 shows, and then the other ones
yeah,
got
like
deleted.
I think it's just with the holidays and then everything going on. Like some of the
It
shows
just
got
fell
yeah,
on.
yeah. It fell on FSP and FunPop more than PM and the PM or Ultimate for sure.
Yeah.
But we're back. So thanks all for being here, and hope you have a great one. And stay delusional. Peace out.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.